Now we're forced to start.
All right. I assume you guys want to recap first?
Yep.
Probably. I do.
All right. Assuming control of Dammerhall and me explaining how kingdom management would work, you guys launched into your first half year of managing the kingdom. Fergus reached out diplomatically to Clan Embermane, managing to get them involved. While the clan head of Clan Embermane afterwards had a slightly interesting morning breakfast with Nulgrim, who he requested to speak to. Nothing seemed to have come of that, but it was an interesting conversation. Meanwhile, the rest of you have been fanning out to try to deal with various problems throughout Dammerhall. Freya has been laboring long-term to try to figure out how to investigate or remove souls from the Black Iron Army, while also using consultation from a book that she found from Bendrak's supply called the Book of Vile Darkness. Within it, she was able to discover a ritual that could, in fact, banish Maladraxus the dragon to another plane of existence and keep him there. However, it required a number of human sacrifices. Meanwhile, Thrum was busy on handling the shenanigans of the various adventuring parties that had been going on, reinforcing various points of egress into the mountains, and then establishing his own internal security force, which I am still waiting on that rename, because we are not going to let it be the SS.
It's just the Safety and Security Force. Can it be the SFF?
That's what I have it currently, but think
I'll
about
think
it.
of something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the safety and sanitation? Oh.
Salutations and Serenity.
Oh, yeah.
Just pulling up the collar.
The
Oh, I
Khazad-dûm
got it. How
Kingdom
about
Keepers,
the Luftwaffe?
Khazad-dûm
We
Kingdom
even
Keepers.
have the Windmill of Friendship on our headquarters and our armbands.
Later, near the end of the first half of the year, Freya did come and discuss the topic of the Book of Vile Darkness with Thrum, who was a little too open to the idea for Freya's comfort. I think it's fair to say. Meanwhile, Taskell's been taking advantage of the fact that currently all the various high priests of the three temples are standing behind him, so he was able to galvanize support from the populace to restore all three temples to basic functioning status, so that way they can assist with other projects, even though they're still surrounded by a ton of rubble and stuff. Meanwhile, Nulgrim has been having the time of his life as leader of the army, adding the most to the national budget via military spending, having restored the Undergate to minimum functional status, establishing a new military academy, and taking stock of his forces. And that's everything that we did last time. So, the question for this week is, what do you think is the most important Dammerhall issue for you?
Right now, most important for Freya, definitely getting some sort of defense set up for the civilians if the Red Dragon Maladraxus decides to rear his head in Dammerhall once he finds out that Bendrak is no more.
Yeah, it's also going to lean towards the Dragon of Damocles.
Ogren would probably say unifying the dwarven clans, navigating those political waters.
Yeah, Fergus is the opposite of that. He's wondering which clan is going to betray us first.
Thrum is worried about these assholes who might be stealing our heritage right from under our noses.
Yeah, I've got a subcategory of getting the Heart of the Mountain furnace thing back online, because that'll help with several problems.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good answers all around. So I shall move you to the King dashboard screen.
The Demon Gate. Is that new?
Yeah, I added the map. It'll get a few changes, but some of the areas are hidden on an account that you haven't explored over there yet.
Okay.
You guys should be able to. This is currently just the Dammerhall and its direct neighboring locations, which is the Sunless Sea, the Labyrinth of Demise to the north, and then presumably up here is the area where the Drow are. This does
I'll
not.
say, oh, look, it's that ocean Fergus is going to kill.
Mhm. This
So
does
does
not
this map-
include the fungal jungle, the Earth's Wound, or surface, because my first Kingdom Management game, I had the brilliant idea of setting it in a 3-dimensional space. So you'll need to give me a little bit more time. But this is the stuff that I guarantee you'll only interact with this session.
Did we ever get to the Demon Gate?
No, but you would have gotten reports from like Ignis and other people about its location. You passed really close by it, but you never went to the area where it was.
Can
What
we
was the
get
name of the
a-
gate again? Is that where the Drow are?
That is the gate that leads into their realm.
Okay.
The
Okay.
only naval passage inwards.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
wasn't it like right about here where we got betrayed by Jiggles?
Yep, right around there.
What a bastard.
Where was this? Where the vampire is, or where's that at? Or is that down here?
Right.
It's in here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
important.
had to do some abstractions.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was just kind of curious, just trying to get my bearings on it.
Is this fort over here the Drow outpost?
Yeah, you
Or-
passed it briefly. Yep, what's being pointed out right here, that is the Boiling Sea. So that's where
Last known
Maldraxx's
whereabouts
lair is.
of Mally D.
All right.
And I'll get a better logo for Dinport, but I'm just using the anchor right now. I want to have everything be these really cool banners that I've been finding, but I don't have it for all factions yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to get banners and stuff set up for the one shot there. Good.
Mhm.
Or-
So,
I'm not sure if it's going to be a one shot. It might actually be a couple sessions the way it's coming. But
so this is
So
where the
where's our
door
back door to
was.
Dammerhall?
It was right here, but it
Okay.
has since been shut.
Yeah,
There's
so
a
this
tunnel
is the-
leading north from the Undergate.
Yeah, I was about to ask if that's the official way out into the
Yep.
undersea.
Yeah, 3D, it's going to be hard to conceptualize.
Yeah, that's what's going to take me time, but I got this much done, so It's-
From the Undergate, do we actually have access to the undersea?
not directly yet. No,
Not
I
directly,
just reveal all this because this is what you personally explored.
Gotcha.
So
And how did the Undergate close behind us this way in?
It was a one-way entrance, and if I recall correctly, he said this was like collapsed or damaged or basically blocked off, right?
the secret way that you took through here, Bendrak destroyed it after you guys got in. And then this way had the big fortified Undergate, which Nilgrim has since restored and has operational. So you can send people out north whenever you want.
And that's to the top land, right? Is that the
Top.
bridge?
It's an underground
No.
tunnel to a region that you've been told is called the Labyrinth of Demise.
Oh,
So well,
but our topside bridge is fine.
Yeah, this is not the topside stuff is not yet depicted on this map.
Okay.
So
so what is the top side when you come out of the mountain, not when you're in the Underdark, but to the access from the surface? What does that look like? Just so I can get an idea of, is it like a road like a big road that leads up to it?
there is like a
where
mountain
I'm
valley around like this, if you're looking where Dammerhall is on the map.
Yeah.
So there's a mountain valley like this. There's mountain range to the north and the northwest, and then to the south and the southeast is open flatlands going out. Foothills, then flatlands going out into Corsiconia. And then there's one bridge crossing the valley.
And are there any paved like roads from the olden days, or was there not ever anything that permanent? I'm wondering, getting things up from the surface into the mountain and sort of interacting with the outside world that way, or is that something we'll have to invest in?
I think that's something you're probably gonna have to invest in. Even if they had actual like stone cobble roads, it's been 300 years. Nature would have reclaimed it by now.
That was my thought. Was there's enough of a road for people to make pilgrimages, probably to get carts in and out difficultly, but it'll be a thing. But we should probably, make sure we have shit to send out, or we focus on making the road.
Though, before we get into the thick of kingdom, back into the action, there's just a few things on the kingdom front I just wanted to inform you guys about. First things first, I made the actual budget counter on the screen rather than a handout. You guys should be able to edit that there, so it'll be easier to keep track of rather than editing a handout. So there's stresses.
6 of 30?
Well, 30 was an arbitrary number. I just wanted it to be big, but it could be as large as you want. But it's at 6 currently, yes. The other thing, 2 rules. One that I withheld not to complicate things last session because you weren't going to use it anyway. And the other one was one I forgot to mention. The one I forgot to mention is that when I'm constructing a dice pool that's opposing yours, like a difficulty, on rare situations, I might use one of your distinctions if I think it actually works against you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yep. And the other one is that there is a optional ability you can do called stressing out, which is when you perform a test, you can pick any of your stresses, which are population, economic, political, and civic, and you can describe how you are stressing that to get better results, and you can then add that die to your roll, and then it goes up a step. So, for example, if you did something involving population stress, you could add a free D10 to your roll, and then it would turn into a D12.
Though, if I remember right, if it goes above a D12, it becomes a permanent bad thing.
Yes, exactly. But you don't have any economic or political stress right now. I just didn't want to overwhelm you guys with the rules last time when you were just getting a hang of it, and honestly, you guys weren't going to use that the first 2 seasons anyway.
Okay.
But new season.
So did we set up an initiative for deciding what we were doing last time, or are we just going free for all?
I think it's just whatever order we decide to go in.
Okay.
I think we did end up going left and right. If someone has something they really want to get resolved quick.
Yeah. I'm pretty much here just the referee, so however you guys wish to organize this, I'm good with.
I did have a question that for partial mechanic, partial like my character asking another NPC. I can't remember his name, but the guy who we put in charge of the commerce.
Yes, Thyris.
I would ask him if he knew anything about someone named Lady Yinshi of the Long Crescent Winters.
Let me see.
Or Lady Yinshi of the Long of Crescent Winters, or not sure how you that one. So.
No, he does not. I rolled a D20 luck check, and it was a natural 1.
So the question would that be something the Spy Master could investigate? Or who would be the one to check that?
Yeah, a Spy Master can investigate that as a possibility. You might, if you want to take time yourself, you could try to like look deep in like the old archives of Dammerhall and do like a lore check, maybe.
I was just not sure what the mechanics behind researching that would be. So,
Ivy was the only one of our companions who stayed, huh?
Well, no.
Ignis is hanging around.
Ignis is still here. Miku is still around. He doesn't have a good way to get home yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to set that up too. So,
so technically, only Iago is the one that bugged out.
Have we talked to Miku? Does he want to go home? I know his whole thing was
he does, but he's patient.
Okay. Because I know his whole thing is he wanted to get out and see the world, so he felt like he's done that now.
If we can, that's probably going to be my next action. Is I want to try to negotiate with Corsiconia to get claim over the land around that entrance we went down, because then we can have Miku go overland and like in a covered wagon so he doesn't burn to death. and then be able to depart from there to his home. Because I already talked about Clam Embermane leading that location once we can get claim of it. That's basically the promise I made towards them.
What if we got Miku to set up a mushroom farm here?
I think he wants to go home. Is the issue?
They're very the myconoids aren't. They're hermit-esque. They don't like the outside. Miku's unique in that he wanted to. Miku's unique in that he wanted to come with us.
But if he set up a farm where we could eat them,
I don't.
Cope, do we have to have an intervention for you? You've been getting really aggressive with your character.
No. I don't mean like food. I mean sexually.
Oh God, let him go. Let the mushroom go.
He's got a new wife to obtain. Candidates in time.
I don't think they want to spread out unless you're talking about literally like the mushrooms they ate down there. You want him to grow them here, but I think he still wants to go home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as our closest neighbor, we're gonna have to work out a lot of deals with Corsiconia either way, but a trade post over there to sort of reconnect with our friends underground.
Yeah.
How hard would it be just to send a convoy to go do it?
Well, I think that's going to be probably my action for this next kingdom thing, would be to send a delegation to Corsiconia.
If your number one priority is just to get Miku home...
Well, no, that's not my main priority. But
yeah, I was going to say that Ivy could probably do an action to try to do it just like not as a big deal. That would make it not seem like it's...
Oh, yeah.
Make it
no, that was a
it's
second...
just travelers, not...
Yeah. That's a secondary thing. The main concern is I want to get control of the way we came down originally in the beginning of the campaign, because that's the best way to start off point to start initiating trade with the deep gnomes, the myconoids, the spiders. I can't remember the name. The Skizrael, and in general, also that drow home that Ivy's from as well could be a good source of building materials and that we might not have access to here specifically because they don't have like a lot of marble or quartz or whatever.
Yeah, they have a lot of marble.
Yeah. So even if we don't use that a lot, it could still come in handy, especially with trade.
I'm trying to hold off on spending more on the budget and trying to do something with
I'm trying to counterbalance your budget. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I see, baseline military is going to cost money, but I'm kind of curious. Let me know at what point you'd be interested in sending troops to occupy that fort we took over in the fungal jungle and just kind of have a presence there. And I mean, I imagine
doesn't the deep gnomes take control of that?
I think so, but I think
don't know what happened to it.
We freed the kobolds and then just kind of fucked off.
Yeah, we're gonna have to deal with a lot of that.
But I think if we kind of go at it like a partnership and just have as much of a dwarven presence, or at least some dwarven presence, to kind of
this is kind of Fergus speaking to his council of idiots here.
That's how you commanded the guard to describe him as that. Now calling to attention, Honorable King Fergus's Council of Idiots.
So my general plan with Corsiconia, like you guys can put in any of your 2 cents as well. One, give them like priority when it comes to trade if they can agree to let us have that spot, basically. Like, I'm not sure not have the spot. The way I would word it like a better way that my brain can't comprehend right now. But in return, not only would they have priority for trading, we would also make a agreement that we would help once we can get to our full strength to help with the issue of their people disappearing from raids and try to if they discover any other ways through the Underdark, we can negotiate protection and maybe setting up bases there to protect their country as like a trade / army agreement kind of thing once we actually are up to full strength.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said,
and that would also help us because we more operate in the Underdark anyway, and that would benefit them. They would get better trade from the Underdark once we have control of those entrances. They have less to worry about for the Drow if we can get to that spot. And then
all that. Yeah, that's all what I've been thinking as well. So like I said, if you get to a point where you're looking to help staff that, let me know because Milgram's open to the idea. He's just waiting for the go ahead.
Yeah. Also, we do need to get some money flowing in
Yep.
because
Yeah.
right now we're hemorrhaging.
Yeah.
So I think my action for this, if just kind of what I'm thinking is run kind of a
Recruitment
partial like training exercise, as well as go to the lower levels and basically try to get to the dwarven relics before the adventurers do. Just kind of act as a security and recovery detail as part of training.
Basically, you want
I'm
to
not sure
outloot the looters.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll be like bringing in money, but at the very least, partial cleanup, partial policing down there, and if there are any adventures are found, will be captured and returned to the surface. Unless if Cope's character Thrum happens to intercept them along the way, and then who knows?
Yeah. So, sorry to jump into your space, but I would want to help you with that. So, in whatever way you think our team can help. I don't know if we can combine forces.
Sure, you can have both officers put both of their dice in the same roll.
Yeah.
Well, if like one could focus on gathering resources and the other could focus on policing.
Yeah, like capturing the ones that we're going to sacrifice. I mean, the ones who are there illegally.
You violated the law. It's human sacrifice.
I stole a dwarven toothbrush.
So if you want to run security, I could be the one that kind of manages, clearing out and scavenging.
Sounds good.
So another matter that needs to be addressed, Fergus, the heart of the mountain. We need to figure out a way to fire this thing up so that we can actually start forging.
Yeah, that would definitely be beneficial. I would imagine. I have no idea how to do that, so I trust you can handle that.
At least for more advanced things than simple metalworking.
Fine, we could probably start. Yeah, if we could start laying into industry and production, and I think we might need trade agreements first.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
just put it in concrete. Fergus's action is to try to do diplomatic relations with Corsiconia.
Do you want to use Ivy to maybe give you some help with that? Because I feel like, or at least plan.
I feel like she wouldn't really have much to aid in above ground.
Yeah. I just remember
she could always try to do a roll to create a temporary asset called Corsiconia Spy Ring, and then that's an asset that you can use for any future dealings.
Gotcha.
And likewise, we were talking about using her to also research the other clans, so we could figure out who to go next, or basically preparing for when
recording
envoy comes.
Helmengard last session. Just didn't get very far yet.
Yeah, and I remember there was something that happens like, well, we didn't really know anything about either that clan or Embermain, and that could have been a good thing for Ivy. So we need to focus on her.
I was gonna have her start gathering information while I work with Corsiconia, because like in character, he probably thinks that he knows more about Corsiconia than probably anyone else in this kingdom right now, at least who has authority. So he wanted Ivy to start investigating the clans.
And quick question, where did we land last on, because I know word got out about the metal and the Dwarven afterlife, but have we made a formal announcement at this point, or is it just still rumors at this point?
That's what the civic stress is. You can always take an action to try to reduce any of the ongoing stresses. Oh, which reminds me, this should be a D8, not a D10, because you recruited another clan. 1 second. Beep. There we go.
And I don't know, what you got going on, Tesco? What's your plan for this season?
My plan was to get the Heart of the Mountain online.
What was that?
To get the Heart of the Mountain online.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely important. Yeah.
After that, probably build up the different churches level at least, and then probably work with the fire temple to maybe reduce the population stress a bit more.
Okay. I feel like either you or Fergus need to handle the formal announcement of, the Dwarven Afterlife thing, but probably want to take care of that sooner rather than later. But I think the Heart of the Mountain is probably most important at this point for your side.
Yeah, and at the moment, would it take an action to make a statement, or could we do that in between actions?
If you want to roleplay making a statement, it's free. If you want to actually placate the population and reduce your civic stress, then it's an action.
Gotcha.
Before, if Taskell is going to make the statement, then I do want to have a scene with him beforehand. But other than that, or I guess whoever makes the statement, I want to.
And I don't think it's pressing at this point, but again, the more we kind of sit on it, the more problems it might present down the line. So
I'll do that next, but I do think we need to start talking trade with some people.
No, I completely agree. That's why I'm saying, Corsiconia is good. Taskell clearing out the Heart of the Mountain's good. Freya, what you up to this season?
Pretty much the same as Taskell. I'm going to be trying to figure out what's going on with the Heart of the Mountain, what we got to do to get it back up.
Perfect. Yeah, I think the two of you working together could definitely be good use on that one.
It's probably leaning more towards lore for the first roll because, figuring out how it's supposed to work and how it's not working right now. Seems like a consult the records type thing more than industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else to add to it, if anything, other than the fire temple for D4.
I mean, could you just roll my dice as well? Because I'm going to be helping you.
Yeah, I think that was.
Yep, you can just have two officers in the same one.
Yeah, I think that was a given. It's us both being.
And if you want to use the population enthusiasm on this one, I think it's one of those that could be a very good use for it.
Yeah, I guess we do still have.
We are throwing a fair amount of resource, but it is a very important thing, and I think the population could certainly get behind this one.
Yeah, all right.
And because that asset will disappear after a year or two. Because people can't stay enthusiastic forever.
All right. So
how does it work with two actions being going towards it? Is it just still taking the two highest and just adding them to the dice pool?
Yeah, it's just you add both Freya and Taskell's dice.
All right.
Two people putting their heads in on it.
And then before anyone makes a statement on it, I want to talk to them for a little scene first. The Black Iron Army. I mean,
yeah, if you want to go ahead and do that, I mean, I've typed down the roll, but
you go ahead and do the roll. You can resolve that.
Okay.
Yeah, when I do my roll for the Corsiconian relations, you're going to have to remind me what it's a combination of the rolls. Is that what it is? Oh, never mind. Taskell just did it.
All right, so I got an absolutely dog shit roll.
5 and 8 is our highest.
Yep.
8 and 5, right? Because you had the two highest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is a roll either way. Yeah, it beat the roll either way, and in this one, by how much you degree you I should be better about telling it in the future. Is that some tests like negotiations, it's by how much. So while traditionally picking the two highest is what you do, when you want to determine by how much you succeed, it goes upon the dice size. So hypothetically, if you want to have a D10 be how much you succeed, you might, before I roll, choose to go with the 4 and the 5 or something like that, and hope I roll under.
Okay, that makes sense.
In this particular case, that doesn't matter, and I'll try to be better about letting you know in the future.
We supposed to set that aside beforehand, then?
Yeah, before I roll, but
yeah, I think last time we just kind of used the ones that didn't go towards the total.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll try
which you can absolutely
going forward.
So, you'll be getting this information at the end of the season. We'll go through everyone else's actions first, but Taskell and Freya, you get reports back from the survey teams that went down the shaft to the heart of the mountain. They reported a lot of the still machinery that was left over by. Well, they don't know it's Bendrak, but you know it's Bendrak. They just say
the Lich. Yeah.
Yeah, left over by the Lich. However, they were only scarcely able to get out of there because it would appear that some sort of monster of magma and metal is bound. It's either is the core or it's guarding the core. And what guards they had with the survey team were not able to overcome it. So this is
We
gonna
have
be
people.
you could either have Milgram send troops down there, or if you're all in Dammerhall, you can get the old band back together, drop down the old mountain poop chute, and beat it up.
I say we go ahead and take care of this one ourselves. Doesn't sound like something we can't take care of.
And I think it'll also be good for national morale.
Yeah.
So.
But first, we'll resolve everyone else's actions first, since we're in the stream of consciousness.
As I said, Nolgrim will be going ahead and probably using the Hearthstone Military Academy and probably using Might as well to just kind of scour through the ruins and get anything of value and try to beat the adventurers to it.
Is Thrum going to be aiding you on this matter?
I think so. I think he's going to be more focused on rounding up and dealing with the adventurers, while mine's more focused on clearing and scavenging. I don't know if that would be two separate roles or one
Gombo,
together.
It would.
Do you want us to separate
regardless
them?
of how you do the two different objectives, it does kind of sound like you're working on the same thing. So I would say you would roll this together.
Okay.
So if you want to use Thrum's security forces if he's helping, that's another asset you can pull in.
Yeah, might as well. Let me see. Using, kind of what you just mentioned, Thrum, do we want to use your dice or use one of our D8s as the... Wait, so as you said, before you roll...
We could use them both.
You can roll it, and then you can look at the results, and then you can choose the two that will go towards seeing if you pass, and then the one that will determine how effective you are.
All right.
And no matter what happens, if you succeed, it's always moved toward a minimum of one step. So
okay. All right. So that's why I want to make
you
sure.
can decide after you roll.
Yeah. Draft this up, and I'll roll here in a sec if you want to get to the next person while I do a similar formatting as Taskill.
Just to double back, it is taking a dice out of the pool to decide degree of success beforehand, right?
Yeah. Don't forget to update the population enthusiasm after the previous roll.
Oh yeah, I'll handle that.
Would historic capital apply to this, since we're kind of scavenging through the historic capital?
I feel like since you're using might, you're more like kicking people in the ass. So I'm going to say no.
Okay, that's fine with me. All right, let's go with that.
All right, so this one is the degrees of success are going to matter here. So I will let you know I am rolling 2d10 for the difficulty.
Okay.
So you can make an informed choice on which two dice you want to put together to determine if you succeed.
And it's only, let me see. So the one we use to do that doesn't matter what it rolled, or is it just...
It doesn't matter what it rolled.
Okay. So Hearthstone is a 6. You and me are D8. So I think use our dice to get the result and use Hearthstone for as the dice, or the degree dice, or whatever it is called. I can't quite recall.
I'm forgetting the term.
I keep hearing dice.
Yeah.
Dice.
So what do you think? 11 for us and with a D6 as a chaser.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's order up.
All right.
At least got the average 2d10.
11.
All right.
Let me quickly check the old rules here because I forget. In an event of ties, which direction does it go? So let me see. Rather than randomly flipping through the book, I should look at the table of contents because I have brains.
Best systems, I'd wager meter beat.
Yeah.
With possible arbitration on degree of success. But opposed rolls tend to be a little bit funkier.
Mm-hmm.
Might even just be a kind of a neutral / inching towards instead of a full success.
Yeah. All right. Contest. All right. Let's see. Results. I am not seeing it here. Seems like kind of a weird oversight on their part. So this is what I'm saying going to do. Given that you are doing a task that's not like ultra high risk, I'm going to say you do succeed. However, your effect dice of a D6, I'll say, is one step lower. So it'll count as a D4. So it'll make the ongoing task of the adventurer problem a 2D8 problem instead of a 2D10 problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, considering the whole thing's random anyway.
Yep. So you spend the season organizing a joint military training exercise / police movement on some of the lower levels, especially around that magic castle that appeared on level 3 with no apparent reasoning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's very much like you ever like pick up a rock in a very damp garden. Underneath the rock is just like a disturbing amount of bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
And
like that, but with
Yep.
adventurers.
Just to be clear, this mansion is a very distinct and separate building than the one the vampire lived in, correct?
Yes, this is definitively a cobblestone castle as opposed to the cobblestone / wood Gothic manor that Alexei Vailcroft lived in. This is
Okay.
definitely a different structure.
We're
Just
like 80% sure it's Caliburn.
Mhm.
Only thing that would make it more sure is if there was a neon sign on the outside what said Caliburn.
Well, if it was Caliburn, that would be there.
I feel like he would be perhaps one of the biggest magnets for all the adventuring parties. God save their souls if it is Caliburn and they go check it out. We walk in there and there's just frogs everywhere.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. He's like the lightning rod, really.
I
And we
mean,
kind of
that's
did already.
that's literally that's literally how you met him.
Yeah, exactly.
That just leaves Fergus and Ivy.
If you think about it, then maybe the Caliber situation will resolve itself because a different adventure will say his name 3 times in a row to deal with their own issues.
So I was gonna have Ivy investigate the other dwarven clans.
Which one?
Honestly, I want them to investigate Clan Forgeworn, the Warmongers.
All right.
So what would that be? Hers plus, would it be lore to research it, or? I'm not sure.
How do you want to go about this? Do you want her getting like ears in the room, going through secrets, or just like historically how they are?
I would like to go through secrets, so I'm just not sure what that would apply to.
Then that would probably be influence.
Influence. Okay, I mean it's a D6 either way.
Mhm.
Could I use the dwarven population too, or would because like if she's getting information and trying to get people in there, wouldn't she be using the dwarves? So because I imagine
Yeah,
they wouldn't.
I could
They wouldn't
see
be
that.
like. They wouldn't be like, oh hey, a deep gnome, come on in.
Yeah. I could see that argument.
Just type it up real quick.
All right. And this is just going to be a pass-fail one, not a degrees of success one. So you'll probably go with that 6 and the 8.
Yeah.
Which means it'll be damn near impossible for them to succeed this. Yep, that's a 2-2. So what was the piece of information exactly you were hoping to learn?
So remind me real quick. I know they're warmongers, but wasn't there some other stuff about them?
Ironmongers and war artificers, an odd mix of traditional and non-traditional, always pushes for war and conflict and more expansion of the empire. It's not like a racial thing. It's like if we're gonna have the strongest military, let's flex with it type of thing.
Gotcha. So trying to think of. I'm trying to give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
I would say any animosity towards other clans or any current allegiances with other clans that might influence the talking points. Because if they're allied with a clan that we might not agree with and might not side with, they might not take kindly to our joining with them.
Yeah, they traditionally butt heads with Clan Cinderaxe, being that one is kind of like Paleolithic and the other is kind of techie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a violent hatred between the two. It's just
it's more like I'd rather not work with you kind of thing.
We don't need those knuckle dragging, fucking drooling barbarians in our kingdom anyway. Bring the artificers over.
It's like two people that support opposite football teams that just take it too seriously.
Gotcha.
What clan do we already have?
Embermane.
Yeah.
Do it, Fergus.
And Forgeworn do have traditionally good relations with Clan Highcliffe.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if you want to side with the cavemen and the Luddites and set dwarven progress back 100 years, go ahead.
Oh no, I have plans for Forgeworn. I'm thinking a dwarven navy. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's a good call too.
No, that's why I was getting information for them because they're my next target.
Good call. Good call.
That was Ivy's role.
Yep. And I'm going to reach out to Corsiconia to try to establish some just talks in general, but like trade talks. And like I said, possibly trying to see if we might be able to gain access to the lands above the entrance to the Underdark that we came in through. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about that interaction where the Lord or whoever's getting your mail is like, "Look, I got a invoice from the King of Dammerhall," and then his wife.
I feel like that's the.
We all have a rich cousin in Dammerhall who needs money.
It's the Nigerian prince scam.
Yeah, Nigeria. It's a Dammerhall prince scam.
So your goal is to try to get land from them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Or at least like lease the land at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is before we get into the rolling dice, because Corsiconia has their actually own kingdom stat line I'll be using, so it'll be a significantly more potent pool. Want to be very clear here because this will greatly affect the strength of the negotiations. do you want to acquire the land or lease it? Because one they'll be much more in favor of than the other.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Should I go for broke?
No, I think we're much too
What
early.
land?
I think trying to.
This is the
Take it
land
from-
above the Underdark where we first came in at the start of the campaign that leads to the Skizrael, the Myconoids.
He's essentially negotiating for the foothills around the mountain.
Yeah.
Frankly,
want to
Fergus,
establish-
I don't know why we're even negotiating with Corsiconia at this point. I
Because
feel
it
like
is
we were-
Corsiconian land. And we don't
Well,
want
yeah,
to start war with them.
They're not going to send people into the. We're not.
Yeah,
We're
but we need
so
land.
good for it.
We need access to the entrance above it, which is their land.
I would say if we kind of phrase it from, we've been there, we know the danger's there, we could defend this and kind of either do it as a sort of easement or like see if we could avoid increasing the budget if possible, but I wouldn't just try to outright take it.
I would know, having spent a lot of time in Corsiconia. Corsiconia is the land where money talks. Their dukes are ostensibly royal, are ostensibly nobility, but they're realistically trade princes.
Okay,
With the
so
king
basically
being-
we're going to be budgeting for it.
We
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
a king who wants to
They
clean out
will,
the.
yeah. If you want to establish a trade deal, they'll be all for that. But it's gonna be how good of a trade deal are you gonna be able to get, because they're gonna want their good deal as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
What? It's what I
Fergus,
was. It was
I
what I
got-
was
I
mentioning.
got a question. I've walked those roads 100 times. Nobody's ever made me pay a toll. Aren't those Corsiconian roads free use for all? So why don't we just use them for now?
That's what I've been saying. There's no reason to clean out our dwarven, treasure halls to give to
And
these these metrosexual polygamists.
And everybody.
Half of that
eats
was
their
right.
own, but eventually money.
No, I've
talks.
seen them. I've
And
seen. What are you talking about? Iago, look at him. He got a big feather in his hat. That's crazy.
Anyway.
Remind me of my second wife. But until they ask us for a cut of the profit, I wouldn't go in saying, "Hey, we're going to pay you for using
The
this
question,
road."
the thing that arises though, and Gombo, you can correct me if I'm wrong. These feel like the kind of people that, if you ask later, they're going to demand higher value from it because you're currently already using it, so we can't afford to lose it.
It's true, but at the same time, it is also worth highlighting. That's why I said one is going to be significantly harder than the other. Monarchies, as a rule, don't like to give land away. Now, renting it, meaning that you walk through it and you pay them money, well, they're going to be very amenable to that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't ask somebody if we can rent something that we're currently using for free.
Fergus, here, I think your eyes are clouded here by your sympathies for Corsiconia.
No, the issue also arises that we promised the land to be utilized to Clan Embermane, so we're already trying to maintain a promise with them, and if we just use the land and don't have access to it at all, then we kind of
I think we have to consider budgeting for it if it's part of the Embermane agreement.
Woo!
As
Year
it
one,
was.
already border disputes. Fuck yeah!
Fergus, I don't see any reason to contact them right now. It's not important right now. We need to get other things finished right now.
As it was, if I remember
Maybe
right,
put a pin in that one.
It was several days travel down that initial tunnel.
Yeah.
So
But the issue arises, we need to set up shop above on the top of the tunnel so we can also guard our assets as we're trying to get trade out from that tunnel.
And I disagree with you,
Well,
Fergus. I think it'll come at a cheaper price if we wait and get more established first.
the thought I was having
There's
there
no
was
trouble on
that-
those roads.
was that tunnel went down to a intersection,
Mhm.
one way which went to a major deep city that we
Never went to.
are not appearing on this film,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the other way went to
So more of a proposal to set up shop at that intersection, maybe?
Fasterwall. Yeah,
That makes more sense.
I was gonna say
Um,
that's
Look-
he just looks at he looks at Taskell. That's the smartest thing anyone said at this meeting.
look, Fergus. If down the road, they send one of their dandies in to come collect their taxes, we can have another conversation about this. but it seems like a gross waste of money to go and seek out paying them.
I see your point. So we should prepare to.
I think Taskell found it on this one.
Yeah.
For dwarves, excavation's kind of what we do.
So okay, then replan.
Instead of negotiation, beginning a settlement there.
Yeah, I would say let's get a settlement going at that intersection in the Underdark at that spot.
Sounds good to
then,
me.
Hey, we can sell the excess stone to fucking Corsica.
So would that
There
be
you go.
industry if we're trying to set up a place there?
Yeah, because that spot that's that cross section you talk about is technically underneath the mountain. So currently, because humans don't settle on top of mountains, that's not really going to be dealing with anything from Corsiconia. So you're talking about sending people over the top of the mountain, which your dwarves, super doable. This is not criticism, and getting on top and then burrowing straight down, more or less, Minecraft style.
Well, no, we're going into that place where we went through before, and there's an intersection that goes multiple ways, and setting up shop in the intersection down there in the tunnels that are already there to start with.
Okay. And you want the construction crews to go over the top of the mountain or around the foothills, which is through human land?
I don't think we're leaving the mountain.
How much?
To be safe, we probably should just go over the mountain then. Yeah. That way we don't have to involve human lands at all.
Yeah.
How much trouble did they actually give us going through the human lands way back when off screen?
And if we are going over the mountain, it might also be good to use that as an opportunity to pave a roadway to it, so we have our own road above as well as below when we establish that.
That was a good question from Kenneth for Gombo. On our way through Corsiconia to get there, how much of a trouble did they give us?
Well, it's different when it's a party of 5 dwarves just in traveling gear versus an entire construction team.
Versus like 10 times that number at least.
Yeah, with a bunch of banners and shit. Like, when it was just you guys passing normally, you could just we're just travelers passing through. People do this all the time. You know?
Okay.
So let's say over the mountain then, so that way we don't have to involve the human lands at the moment, and we can worry. And then once we can get a shop set up there, then we can worry about building like a road over the mountain to go there and make trade facilitate faster.
Okay.
And if we could, since we're sending construction crews, see if we could send a survey team again to start mapping out potential roadway.
Let's start about getting a settlement going there.
Yeah.
I imagine my role plus industry plus clan and Embermane, since I did say that they were going to be at the forefront of that.
Yes, I would also say dwarven population to be a thing here, because this is talking about mountain hiking and stone carving. This is dwarf shit.
This gets them excited.
Yeah, this is probably the most dwarfy command Fergus has ever given. So how I'm going to say this is going to be is that kind of getting to the point where you're going to start like the beginnings of a small trading outpost.
Yeah.
Which when I have more of the map done, we'll actually be able to construct it. We're going to call this a difficulty 10 task, so that's going to be 2d10. And then with the effect dice thing determines how much progress you make on it.
Since I really want this to work, does anyone mind if I use the last population enthusiasm for this?
No, it's a good thing it's in here.
No, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, this seems big.
I feel like getting a trade place set up is important. Ooh, those are not the greatest of rolls, but...
Well, I mean...
All right, so pick the 2
15.
that you want to have determining if you succeed, and then the one that you want to have make progress.
Okay, so the
2d10 is 11, so...
So I imagine that I want to make it succeed. I want the highest numbers, right? I'm still kind of understand 100% of like this.
Yeah, I'm bad at explaining these things.
So here, let me try. So when it comes to success or failure, you pick 2, and
you pick the 2 highest numbers for that one. Right?
Typically, you go to the 2 highest, yeah. But if it comes to degrees of success, you have one of the die. It doesn't matter what's rolled, right, Gumbo? It's just the size of the die.
So you want a bigger die, or you want a smaller die for the
the bigger die has a bigger impact. So like since you rolled a 9 on our D10, you probably won't hold on to that. But if you rolled a 1 on a D10, well, that's a pretty good candidate because then it counts as a D10 for intensity.
Okay, so you choose the 2 you want to succeed, which are the higher numbers, like Clan Evermain and Enthusiasm.
Typically, again, if because you do likewise have the option if suppose Embermane was a D10 as well. Well, we could do a 9 and a 4, and though we technically go, it's not the two highest dice, we get the advantage of having another high dice to increase the intensity of success.
Okay.
So both Fergus and our population D8s. So.
Yeah, so I think that's so. Stick with Embermane and enthusiasm for our success, and then choose a D8 for our intensity.
Yeah, I'll say industry for the D8 for the degrees.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
you know
15
what, Fergus,
total.
and
What'd you say, Michael?
I was just gonna say, as Freya, and you know what, Fergus, what are these? Are these months that we're passing by, or weeks?
Months.
Months. I think it's like
season.
3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, roughly.
Okay. So in the next quartile or whatever we're going by here, Fergus, I'll go and I'll try to do some research and see if there are any old trade deals from the old kingdom of Dammerhall that we might be able to exploit in our negotiations.
Gotcha.
All right, so let me make a little note of this here. Path, trade out. All right, so I got a great big whopping 5 on my 2d10. So since you had a d8, that means it takes it from a d10 to a 2d4 task. So you will need to do another action to finish it, but it is significantly closer to being completed.
Gotcha.
All
Probably
right.
do it my next action. For
Yeah,
that
that's gonna
then,
make
so,
for a much easier success.
Yeah.
Now, at some point in one of our meetings, I'm sure me and Taskell are going to raise the question of magma monster. How to take care of it.
If you guys wish to go down there and do a good old-fashioned D&D combat encounter, that is not a kingdom action because you are all still within the city. If you were spread across the land, it might be more complicated, but we're talking like an hour to a 2-hour walk downstairs.
So
I feel like we should handle it and get it done quickly and without too much ado.
Nolgrim will say, I haven't had a chance to fight properly in this body since I've gotten it back. I am ready to lay the hurt.
Taskell, have you ever heard anything in the old lore and stuff about a magma monster in the heart of the mountain? Anything like this?
Yeah, I guess
Let's
based
see.
on
Got a
the
decent
report.
history.
Can we
Roll
roll
that and
knowledge?
see what Gombo might give us? I mean, at the very least, the thing that wasn't Maladraxus and Maladraxus's lair springs to mind. There's another big magma beast, if I remember right.
I was going to say give a religion more than a
Religion?
history.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same thing for me. So this is,
Are your history and religion are the same?
yep.
Oh,
That's
I just
both
want to
keep
keep an eye too.
Taskell, you've never heard of anything like this. You get the impression this might be some of Bendrak's leftovers.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, the heart of the mountain is also where all the molten dead bodies of the dwarves went for their eternal rest, and then he shoved pipes up in there, was pumping that shit out. So
Does Freya's 24 add on to that, or is that the same?
This is the same information. It was like a 15.
All right.
So you think this might be a little bit of the evil left by Bendrak that you guys didn't wipe out on your first pass.
So
Whatever it is, we should probably put eyes on it ourselves.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we weren't this wasn't like the spirit of the heart of the mountain or something, and we need to appease it and not fight it.
Let's go ahead and kill ancient.
Like a primordial ally of the dwarves.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well,
This
it
was our
already
god
attacked
before the
people.
gods.
It already attacked people.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
You got
That's
that
fair.
going for it.
Yep, that's true. But still, it's like, do we go and just intend to kill, or do we need to find a way to pacify something that was a sacred creature of our people?
It sounds like it's just the corrupted.
Just go in and kick
the rest
ass.
of the corruption we need to weed out like a cancer. In which case, I'll go put on my suit.
Freya jumps in the air and clicks her heels as she leaves the room.
This looks like a giant combat suit problem.
Nolgrim's going to be honing the edge of the grudge blade and just, tending to that. Because first time being able to actually use it.
Mm.
I'm just kicking my axe with my boots. Complete disregard of respect for it.
Probably good to make sure we have protection from energy on us.
Yeah, any sort of buffs you want to do before you go into the heart of the mountain chamber.
Where?
Feel free to again too.
Nolgrim will make it a point. I very much need protection from lava. This is imperative.
Can't be right, man.
Careful, your hubris is showing.
Hubris.
I'm gonna go.
I have a very keen respect of
before
magma.
we get into. I'm gonna go take a bio break before we get into map combat.
Sure.
Really does annoy me that buffs don't have an upcast on that
Yeah.
I've seen on 5th edition.
Yeah, I hear you.
You'd think, more targets would be the thing, but they also kind of wanted to minimize the amount of floating information. But
Although there is some spells, buff spells that allow you to, transfer across. But yeah, I'm surprised. Is protection of energy not one of them?
Nope.
Oh wow. All right. See if we could look. Is there potions of that? Because I would happily spend.
probably. I mean, we got. Might even still have some left over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys don't have any like alchemist's facility set up within the
Yeah.
kingdom.
Mhm.
If you want to start having access to a bunch of specialized potions, then you need to start founding some alchemist organizations.
Yeah. Where?
You have the power to make these things available.
Yeah. We've just been focused on trade, but I guess we could probably definitely start working on stuff to produce. I might have to make a point of doing that next turn.
So I know for a while we had some, and there was a few things we didn't use when we raided Maladraxxus's lair.
With mining Cope's action, was there any chance to find valuables to help offset the budget, or is it specifically just reducing the adventure problem?
Well, you were talking about trying to scavenge dwarven artifacts to maintain your culture. I didn't think you were going to put them on,
Oh, that's fair.
club.
Well, I mean,
to
I
sell
feel
them.
I feel like not all of the stuff we're finding is relics.
Yeah.
There's probably like stashes of.
But no, a lot of Bendrak had 300 years to scour this place for most of its practical valuables, and that's why there's big stockpiles of ore and metal from the destroyed factories. They're just kind of sitting in a corner that there's no one for almost a year that have taken stock of all those resources there. So it's just kind of piled up.
So would that be something I could do next action? Is making a point to take stock of those resources and.
It's a little out of the military's wheelhouse, but yeah. Okay.
All right, I will make a note of that. That'll probably be my next action because we need to start finding what we've got and make monies. Because again, Nolgrim sees how much he's draining with his army.
Yeah, if we did have any floating, they're not in the bag of holding. Although we still have apparently 75 pounds of scorpion meat down there.
that has to be bad by now. I don't care how smoked it was. You were underwater for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpion meat never goes bad.
It just gets flavor.
And fur.
I'm not sure if you have access to it as a cleric or not, but isn't there a fire shield spell that you can also turn it into a chill shield?
I think so.
Here it is. You can only do it if you're a wizard, arcane trickster rogue, armor artificer, battlesmith artificer. No clerics except for zeal cleric apparently. So never mind.
So do we have any more potions of protection from fire or protection from energy?
Yeah. In my subclass already gives me resistance to fire, but
okay. Well, at least we'd have 2 protected. I've got a potion of fire reinforcement, but that's not protection. That's very temporary immunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like a round or two.
Oh, it's a ranger spell. Is that something? Are you a ranger, Cope?
He's AFK, but I think he's no, he is a ranger, but he's a battle monaster style ranger.
Oh,
He
okay.
didn't like the idea of a ranger with spells, so I'm letting him use the option for maneuvers instead.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Then he went and got magic powers anyway.
Yep. Nolgrim going up to his troops. All right, men, we've figured out how to scour the lands for trouble. Now we learned the backbone of the military, logistics.
All right, so I'm back.
Sure, I'm going.
And I could hear everything the whole time. I got a few points. One, we didn't find any valuable relics that we want to sell, but did we get any value off of the adventurers that we found and killed or captured? I mean,
none
Not
that
on
would
a
make
national
a
scale.
none that would make a difference on a national scale.
Yeah.
two, the military. If you go back to Rome, their military was actually quite good at logistical things like building roads. Hence why all roads lead to Rome. So
Yep,
when they're not fighting wars, you have a couple that are civil engineers, and they could, even in Egypt,
Yep,
most of those guys were out of the military.
That's what I'm thinking. Right now it's largely voluntary military, so let's go ahead and get them the skills, and that way, once we start paying more, substantially, they'll have that officer training under their belt.
And to be clear, you are paying these people. It's just they're not a number that would affect the budget currently.
Yeah.
And then three.
Well, yeah, but the
I
U.S.
do think I have a
volunteer
potion.
military, and we still pay them.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Cope. What were you saying?
I think I do have a potion somewhere. I gotta look.
Yeah, I've got water breathing, healing, stamina, and fire reinforcement.
Is that the immunity to fire?
No, yeah, that's the temporary immunity to fire.
Yeah,
But it has to be used on top of fire resist.
Do you still have that weapon that can chill things out for a round? 'Cause that could come in handy too.
Yeah, if somebody wants to use it, I don't have the ability to tune for my slot.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Now that I have the
slotted up
breastplate.
right now, so.
It's a good weapon.
I mean, you do still have one of those forge merging hammers, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you merge it onto his weapon or one of our weapons?
Yeah. Destroy
Oh,
that sword and put the enchantment on a different weapon.
Does it, would it go on top of Grudge
the
Blade?
chilling effect and the extra, I think it was a D6 of cold damage would, but the +1 would just go with whichever one was higher plus bonus.
Okay. I mean, I'm cool throwing down my sword unless if somebody else wants it.
No, I'm fine. My weapon's already pretty overtuned anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. You don't
Good
even
dog.
have. Yeah, Fergus, do you just want to teleport the entire crew down there?
Oh yeah, I can do that, huh?
Yeah, you don't even have to walk. You can just freaking Thor
Oh shit!
it down there.
Yeah, I just have to touch touch a fixed piece of dwarven stonework, and I can just teleport us there.
Oh shit! All right.
How many times can you do that a day?
Once until every 3 days.
Well, do we really want to walk back up the stairs?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I should use it when we come back in case he tries to block us or something.
That's true. Yeah. It will make a good escape strategy for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we can walk down. By the time we're done, we're probably gonna be exhausted anyway. So.
All right.
We just teleport back to the throne room. People look at us, and I just let out a puff of smoke.
How are you able to do that?
My Axe of the Dwarven Lords, I can travel to any dwarven stonework that's underground without any chance of failure.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, your magic item.
I forgot Frostbrand also gave me resistance to fire damage. All right, good.
It also functions as a belt of dwarven kind, a dwarven thrower, and a sword of sharpness. So that's fun. So I can actually throw this axe and have it returned to me.
Yeah, and I looked into it. Throwing weapons work with the archery combat style, despite the name, because it just says ranged attack.
I wish I still had the archery combat style.
Yeah.
And if it's one-handed, you can use it with your arm there to make ranged attacks with it, or 10 feet away attacks.
Extend the go-go gadget arm, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys begin the descent through the various parts of Dammerhall and Busy until you reach the bottommost layer, where you go to what was, when your first experience was a sealed gate. To get here, you walk through the darkened, now currently off-limit 4th level mines of Dammerhall, walking past the still forms of all the black iron golems, the entire army. It's been almost a year since you reclaimed Dammerhall, but something about this trip just kind of, it's like memory lane of what that experience was like. You go to the sealed gates that lead to the core of the mountain, now opened by the survey team, and you get on the lift that they had repaired to go down there. As you hear the clinking of the chains descending into darkness where there's a hellish red glow beneath you. You notice not only the hanging chains, but all the remains of the great wrought iron pipes that Bendrak and his minions had put down here. And there's a small party that feels like you're returning to that time a little bit. That time of darkness for this place. It is worth pointing out that, as I said, it's been almost a year, and this is the first adventure that you all have kind of embarked upon. How's everyone feeling getting back in the action for a couple minutes?
My face is still itchy. I'm not used to having a beard.
Would it? No, Norgrim would be kind of doing the mental math. Would this be a year to the day by chance?
Not quite, but close.
All right. Norgrim will probably make it a point to bring it up, like, not quite, but we are almost a year out from our last adventure. I think we needed this to reconnect. This is like a fishing trip for us boys.
Thanks.
Yeah, we needed a distraction. I needed a distraction.
I know some of us needed the exercise there, Fergus.
What are you talking about?
Ladies.
So I'm
correct.
Yeah, finally a problem we can solve with overwhelming force. That's my.
Oh yeah, Freya, is your suit huge by this point?
If you're ready for it to be.
Yeah.
If you're ready for it.
It was just some dungeon crawly stuff before. So yeah, very large mech suit that Freya has assembled for this outing. All probably polished and shiny without that road grit.
Is this one of those long descents that we have to wait through?
Yeah, we have to get through the entire Metal Gear Solid 3 theme before you reach the bottom.
Can we just ride at this point?
Most people in this call won't get that joke. But for those of you who do, you know who you are.
So we're all just kind of sitting there, tapping our feet, kind of waiting. And all of a sudden, Fergus kind of blurts out, so I'm thinking of contacting my ex. Do you think that's a bad idea?
Wait, you had an ex?
Well, she's not really an ex. We separated, but we didn't separate.
What was the nature of the separation?
I was chased out of town and had to leave in a hurry.
I think you could reach out. It doesn't sound like there's bad blood between you. It's a circumstance that tore you apart. You're very literally her Prince Charming at this point.
But my issue is, one, do you think it's safe to bring a gnome into a dwarven kingdom like this? Ivy excluded. She was born to troll around people. The person I'm talking about is a flower girl. Two, if my brother is still around and he's probably in that town, would it be a bad thing to let him know that I am now king?
You gave that orange jello motherfucker a piece of the black iron for your ex-girlfriend?
I didn't say it was a smart idea. This is what happens when I go stir crazy, okay?
Nogrim will look over to Thrum. Would you do anything like that for any of your exes?
You haven't seen Thrum's rocky body look dark red with magma. in over 2 years, but right now it does, and there's like steam coming from his ears and his nostrils, a little bit from his mouth, a little bit from his anus. It doesn't look like he has the ability to speak at the moment.
So yeah, that's been going on in my brain, and like, you know, now that we were all here and we were all just waiting quietly, I just couldn't keep it in anymore.
Yeah, why are you bringing this girl here? I thought you and Ivy were dating.
How the hell are me and Ivy dating?
I saw you guys like making out or whatever.
When the fuck were we making? Like he just like tilts his head like sideways. Like what? Are you sure you're not talking about Nolgrim and his like housewife?
No shame. I got no shame.
Yeah, I'll have questions about that in the future, Loki. Anyway.
All right.
Turns out she's an astonishing housewife.
Turns out housework is easy if you just pay someone else to do it, right?
Anyways, it's your choice, Fergus, but I'm just telling you, Ivy's going to be mad.
I don't understand why, but fair. I just, awkward moment to bring it up, but this is actually a question I wanted to ask you all if you think it's a bad idea to get them involved with this dwarven politics.
Yes.
Okay, take the mood out of this, Thrum.
Things will probably be complicated enough without it.
I say follow.
Okay, well, just don't. As long as no one comes pestering me about heirs, I don't think we'll have a problem.
Do you have kids?
I don't have kids,
Okay.
but I don't plan on having kids, especially now that I'm gonna have to keep her out of this.
I find that ex-girlfriends are bad ways to make heirs.
Well, if I got her back, it wouldn't be exactly an ex now, would it?
Now Nolgrim's looking to Thrum again. How many kids do you have?
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't have any heirs.
That's not what he has. That's not what he has.
No heirs, only bastards.
Wait. My stuff can go on pause. Thrum, do you have children? Do you have little mini Thrums?
Your stuff can go on pause. I don't have any ex-girlfriends.
Everyone, make a mental note. We're gonna investigate Thrum's ex-wives and find out if he has any kids. I will have Ivy's next.
Wait, has Thrum been like dwarf Mormon this entire time, where he can only date people if he's married to them?
I was gonna say, is that why he's always getting divorced?
I don't know. Out of character, I feel like those things just kind of escalated really fast, which is why he has had so many wives. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. We should definitely do a roll at some point to figure out how many children he doesn't know he
roll
has.
1d20, and that's how many kids you have.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say like a 1d2 for every wife, but y'all have to figure out how many wives he's had. So,
I mean, at least
1d2
3.
minus 1.
I mean, if we're gonna go for the memes, it has to be 7 X's.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we've been.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Taskell's sitting in the corner of the elevator for this conversation, the only married one of the entire group.
Thinking about his lovely family that he's missed.
Mm.
Wait, she showed back up, right?
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She coming with us?
Yeah.
No?
No.
I don't think Taskell ever said
Just saying, new
job
NPC, Taskell's badass wife. Oh, if Thrum dies, I'm coming back as Taskell's wife.
I met her. She made a mean stew.
Yeah, Taskell's wife, the one dwarf that Fergus likes unconditionally.
That would be funny.
Met her, lovely person, no notes.
Yeah, she was nothing but a loving mother, and honestly, that's refreshing.
Yeah. Oh man, we'll get to the combat, but the Netflix series Cobra Kai, the continuation of The Karate Kid. One of my favorite jokes from the first couple seasons was how Johnny Lawrence, the bully kid from the original one, he's still bitter enemies with Daniel LaRusso, and they argue and threaten each other a lot, but Johnny has absolutely no beef with his wife whatsoever.
Yeah, not at all.
I'm gonna kick your ass. Oh, hi Lauren, how are you doing today? Your house is lovely. Thanks, Johnny. You have a great day. All right.
I really love that show so much.
That's a great show.
I've never actually seen that one. I know it's good, but
it's a good one.
It's on Netflix now. You don't have to worry about watching it on YouTube now.
Yeah, but whenever the conversation comes up of making a sequel to something that came out so long ago, I usually just skip it, and sometimes it leads to me not watching actually good things.
I mean, that's a good mindset. I usually wait until I hear good things about something before I watch it, if it's a remake or a sequel to something that's been so long.
I'll say we loved it for the first couple of seasons, but then it kind of jumped the shark and kept going and kept going. So I would definitely.
I mean, I still like the new stuff, but it's not as good as the first couple seasons.
No, it turned into like a teenage drama to me.
Oh yeah, because Karate Kid. But I do enjoy how the moments where they interject reality into this kind of karate obsessed world, where it's all like, I like when they met one of the bad guys from one of the later Karate Kid movies. He's like, I tried to push you off of a cliff as a teenager.
Yeah, like they acknowledge.
I don't even know what the hell I was thinking. Like, wow, I blew that way out of proportion.
Was that a Stephen King trope you had in your Stephen King game? I'm trying to remember. Just the horribly like criminal bullies that would be put into a psychiatric ward if they really exist.
Yeah, that was one of the only ones I think I couldn't get in because none of you were kids.
Yeah. It would have been a hard one to fit in there.
Yeah.
But it's always one I think is hilarious, and Stephen King does in like every fucking film. It's like, why is this kid so mean?
Yeah.
Like just mean like a kid, carved his name into this fat kid's belly mean.
Yeah, it's like every town has a psychopath. It's like who hurt you as a kid to kind of imprint this on you.
I mean, someone hurt him as a kid. That's very clear.
Yeah. Allegedly, we're recording. We got to make sure we cover that legal base.
Just give him some cocaine. He'll be fine.
He sells 1 million books. He can take the criticism.
Best joke in Family Guy is like when they talk about Stephen King. He gets hit by a car. This gives me a great idea for a book. Writes it midair, lands, done.
Yeah, for real. You want to talk about punching up? I think we can make fun of Stephen King.
Yeah.
If he accidentally bumbles into our YouTube show and has a front with it, I'm okay
honestly,
with
that's
that.
just going to be publicity for us.
That's going to be, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Honestly, I hope that happens.
Yeah.
Dear Stephen King, bring it on.
If I could have beef with anybody, Stephen King is not a wrong choice.
And we could always make the leak that Gumbo did a Stephen King themed session. I don't know if we recorded that, but if we did,
no, I think that was a personal one, which is good because if we did record it, then I would definitely go to Barnes and Nobles and see a book called The Tune, and it's just my plot. No.
You know what, Stephen King, we're coming for you. This is the official anti-Stephen King podcast.
Yes,
fuck you.
We dare you.
Why'd you write Why'd you write all that children's sex in your book? That's fucking weird, dude. That's fucking weird. And you don't like.
Let's get on X. Start it trending now. Pixel Buddy v Stephen King.
They have that creator clash now. Wants to box him.
Yeah, all 6 of us versus Stephen King.
Just relentlessly jumping an old ass man.
That it would turn into like a dragon match where we're just, he's taking turns, tagging out, next guy going in. That was a fun tangent.
Anyways, let's find a magma monster now. Named Stevanos the King.
I feel like that's. I kind of lose the line where we went from out of character to from in character to out of character.
I don't know either. but I will now enjoy the mental image of Stephen King boxing 6 people at the exact same time.
You guys don't understand. The king of Corsiconia is named Steven, so that's what we were talking about.
And now my mind's going to Rick and Morty when Rick and Morty are it's Beth and Rick are just kicking ass. They're all jacked and just beating people up.
I mean, it's either we have to beat Stephen King at boxing or like a Yu-Gi-Oh card competition.
Let's play Magic with Stephen King.
And it's like he gets to choose his weapon. We are officially dueling him now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Good talk. Back to the plot.
Good talk.
The elevator reaches its bottom. That entire tangent was a solid 8 minutes of silence between the player characters.
Boy, that's a long ride. I had so many strange thoughts on the way down.
We're
So much
we're
faster
totally
going
talking
up.
about the wives and ex-wives and all that stuff. That was all in character.
Oh yeah.
But you reach a chamber that at one point had intentionally simplistic but artfully carved dwarven statues into the natural basalt. Lava rock walls.
Yeah.
Words. How unfortunately much of it seems to be smashed as metal pipes, iron girding, and chains of all the machinery of Bendrak's dark industry was still here. At the end of the hallway is a pair of large metal double doors. Opening the doors, you step out onto a rickety iron grid catwalk over a large pool of lava. The chamber above you goes all the way up, and it's the tube of the volcano of the mountain. Down below you is the lava lake that makes up the base of a semi-active volcano. Excuse me. Which is the basis of all mountains. Geology, fun. There are multiple large iron pipes dunking into the lava where you imagine is where it was originally getting pumped out, but you've already turned off those machines. However, there is many large, heat-resistant tempered chains dipping into the center of the lava pool down below. As you enter, a deep earthen rumble goes through the room, and the lava begins to shift and move, and the chains clink and clank against each other. As a large entity rises out of the lava, it looks like a being made out of magma and hot coals. Its humanoid form is wide and simplistic in design, but its arms and legs are bound in metal rings. They are inscribed with dwarven runes. Upon its head-like structure of its 2 yellow glowing eyes, it has a bear trap-like contraption that forms sort of jagged metal mouth. And in the exact center of its chest is a large iron door with a tempered glass window, where inside you can still see trapped dwarven faces as they bang on it like they're trapped inside a gigantic furnace. So I'll move you to the map.
Would I have been able to cast Armor of Agathis on myself? I'm on the elevator now.
You had the elevator, right?
Freya, do you think you could control this thing with your helmet?
What?
Can't you control these golems with your helmet?
No.
Yeah, you would have sensed this thing if it was a part of that golem network before now.
I gotcha. Could Thrum have come down large? Because now that he can move, actually being large.
We'll do that on your first turn.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I do have that chill shield spell, the fire shield one that you can do. It's a chill shield.
Nice.
That was one that I did pick up, so.
Alright, let me roll for the Forge Fiend. 6. Not good initiative. All right, that everyone?
I believe so.
All right. Look, you're first anyway.
All right. Thrum will bonus action rage.
Oh, sorry. I almost forgot. Technically. Oh, wait, no, that's an action on its turn. Sorry. Forget I said anything.
All right.
How high up are we? Is this platform above the mega flow below?
I would say a good 10 feet.
Okay.
All right. These chains that are coming off of it, they're connected to this monster. Oh, I used the wrong. Damn it.
Yeah.
I meant to use the pointer tool. Sorry.
No problem. They are connected to the monster, and they're going down into the lava.
Some sturdy chains there. All right. He will throw his light hammer at the creature. Move up to here, I guess. Throws light hammer. I'm just going to roll a damage on here. There's a crossbow. Ignore that damage, but 16 to attack.
That will miss.
All right.
Bounces off its molten form.
We'll throw a hand axe.
So Thrum has been emptying the context of his junk drawer at home. Yeah, that still misses.
Thrum, can't you like turn into this guy?
No, I'm much calmer now.
Oh, namaste.
You don't know what that means, calls the voice from above.
By the way, did you find this art piece, or was it the monster art?
The monster art I found. I forgot where I found it, but
it seems very fitting for the theme of this, whole thing. So good find, good find.
Yeah, I found that, and I'm like molten, and then it's got like you can even see like the little hands on it. That's good shit.
Yeah,
that spiritual weapon.
Yeah, the soul powered, perfect.
Let's see, force damage. Oh, cool. Yep, takes that damage. Spiritual weapon smashes into it.
As for what to do with the rest of my turn, most of my spells are fire based, and I get the feeling this thing either is immune or absorbs fire.
Nah,
He might
he clearly
only
is
have
weak to
resistance.
fire. I mean, look at that.
That's why we've chained him into fire.
Ooh.
He's like, ah, it burns.
Let's see what level is good. First level. Go ahead and try and do that real quick. Hoo-hoo.
I think the only question is I don't think you can cast both of those in the same turn.
Yeah, because
right. God damn it.
Can he save that natural 20 for next turn?
Yeah, I'll let you save that natural 20. Can't say I'm a mean DM. I mean, you can say it, but you'd be wrong.
Though, do you mind rolling the damage real quick? Because I always love how hard guiding bolts, even at first level, hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. Nice. Well, we got the hammer up anyway.
Yep.
It connected. I guess I'll use the crossbow. Not that I expect mine to hit better.
That'll hit.
I mean, you rolled 19.
Now we'll find out about the fire damage.
You were right. It is in fact immune to fire damage. But the piercing seems
to feel it.
Hit the mark. All right. And as a legendary action at the end of Taskel's turn, it is going to roar, and it is going to have, you see like the lava breaks down and glows brighter as the heat in the room rises.
By the way, remember everyone
Sure.
should have temporary hit points because of my ability. So you should all have 15 temporary hit points at the start of the fight.
Oh, okay. Then I would not have used Armor Bag of this on myself. So I'll just regain that spell slot and put 15. All right.
Sorry, it's been a
So-
while since we fought, so.
Yeah, I needed that reminder for sure.
So if you guys saw that ability I posted there, raise the heat.
One level of exhaustion.
Okay.
This is the first one's just the ability checks, right?
Yeah, but
And
you
if you,
succeeded.
yeah,
It's DC 5.
Oh, it's DC 5. I thought it said DC 15.
No, DC 5, and then every additional time it uses it, the DC goes up by +1.
Okay.
So this first one, you're very likely to succeed, but I'm keeping track of it, how close it is now.
one thing to keep in mind is I do have an Aura of Protection. If you're within 10 feet of me, you get a +4 to all saving throws.
Oh, yes. Paladin. I forgot about that.
But then that would be Fergus's turn.
Okay. First, as a bonus action, he needs to make me a deception as I try to insightful fighting him.
Okay. 13.
Okay, so that means I can get sneak attack on him even if he doesn't have anyone adjacent to him. Because I'm going to start throwing this axe.
All right.
31
That'll hit.
for 22 points of damage.
All right.
And it comes back to my hand and I throw it again. 17, I will roll a d8 to add to that attack.
That'll hit.
So this will be 13 points of damage.
All right. 1 second before you do anything else. Okay. As your blows cut into it, your axe flies through back and forth like Thor's hammer, and lobs of its molten body get lopped off with a roar as these globs fly through the air before landing on the catwalk.
Ooh, on the catwalk.
Yeah, on
And
the catwalk. Yeah.
Rise up again as
do-
horrifying molten rock dwarf zombies.
That's a mouthful.
Well, I just called them molten souls.
Those are cool.
And I'll put this
Is
on
that
the
like
machine.
dwarven jazz? Yo, you should listen to this molten soul I just listened to.
But you may then finish your turn there, Fergus, if there's
Yeah,
nothing
that's all I get.
All right. At the end of your turn, it is going to raise the heat again. So DC 6 Constitution saving throws.
Raise the heat.
All right. Just checking something really quick.
Yep.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my battle suit's weakness analysis
Mm-hmm.
to get a sense of this creature. If I can find where I put it. Flamebane Analyzer. Targeting its strength score.
All right.
And that is a bonus action.
Mhm.
I'm going to take a little bit of a move action just to maneuver myself 5 feet right there. And then I'm going to try and use my telekinesis to try and open this door on its chest.
Ooh, okay. Disadvantage on
Knock,
strength.
knock. Who is it? Justice.
So it's opposed strength versus my intelligence to try and keep it closed.
Okay. Disadvantage on it because of your analyzer.
Tremor, what happened when we tried freeing the spirits in one of those
They
refineries?
gushed out and tried to kill you.
Okay.
So it got a 10.
Okay.
All right. Let me see. All right. So you pop open the door, and with a rush of the scream to the souls of the dam, a whole lot of like molten matter starts pouring out of it. So it is going to drop in some hit points. However, one, two, three. Oh, whoop, wrong one.
Oh no!
Two.
What
How
have
does that
you
even
done?
work?
Oh God, he was pregnant.
It's like stepping on a spider and all the little babies come out.
Oh God, that visual. I hate seeing videos like that. By the way.
There we
That's pretty
go.
much what's happening. I just popped this thing zit full of demons. My bad. Should have known better.
It's so much worse.
It looks a little diminished and weakened now. However, it is then going to use its last legendary action. It reaches down and it scoops up 3 of them, which it then reabsorbs back into its body, which heals it some.
Okay. Okay. Good
That
opportunity
was-
for AoE.
Forge Fiend want nummies.
And that was my entire turn.
Yep. Molten Souls. Let's see, how fast was this thing again? Gotcha. Fast as so that one's gonna come there. This one's gonna flop down here. Let's see. All right, so these 2 here are going to try to scramble up the chain to get up onto the platform, but they got a 2 and a 5 on their athletics check, so it's not happening. And these ones are going to shift around here.
They just try to reach up on the grate and I just keep stomping on their fingers.
Yeah, essentially.
No, bad ancestors.
But one will get to attack Thrum. 24.
Oh yeah.
You are grappled. Oh, the irony.
So no fire damage.
Nope, they just attack you on a spiritual level.
Anyone
All right.
get the connection that these things are a lot like Thrum, and that's also concerning? Swear to God, if they soak next.
All right, it is now the Forge Fiend's turn. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So it is going to be targeting Nilgrim, Taskell, and Freya with this Necrotic Magma Vomit.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a dexterity saving throw to have, wow, it got exactly its average of 45 necrotic damage.
Remember, you Taskell, you have a +4 to this. Freya, you're just out of range.
Not my worst save, but nice to roll high, regardless.
I will pop a flash of genius to put that above the threshold.
So you're still taking half of 45. So that's
22.
Yep.
Right.
And then half of that, which is 11.
Oh, does your suit have evasion or something?
No, I have fire resistance.
It's
Wait, is this
necrotic
fire?
damage.
Oh, it's
Necrotic.
necrotic. Okay. Sorry, I read magma.
Well, it's because it's vomiting out a jet of black tinted magma that's infused with necromantic energy.
Mhm.
It actually does have some attacks that do fire damage, but its necrotic magma vomit is necrotic.
Yep. Putting 15 back because temporary HP.
But that is then its turn. Nolgrim.
All right. Nolgrim will draw the Grudge Blade and activate its freezing effect.
Mhm.
Does that have any effect on the magma ground? Does it solidify it for
Yeah,
walking?
it'll be normal terrain until the start of your next turn.
Okay.
Or end of your next turn, sorry.
Okay, so it's going to be solid until the end of my next turn. Great. I am going to, as a bonus action, I'll drink the potion of fire reinforcement. And then,
Which makes you immune to fire damage because you already have resistance.
I'm going in right there. Do I have to roll an acrobatics or anything going down?
Nah, 10-foot drop, you're fine.
And then I will attack
Which one?
the big guy.
You having any PTSD, Thrum, surrounded by all this lava?
That's why I made it solid. And again, also why I drank the potion of fire reinforcement. I am not playing this game. All right. First attack. That's a miss. Sorry
Yeah,
for the
it's a
wall
miss.
of text. There's just so much this has now. Oh, I got
Yeah.
the
That's
can
why
hide
I
that
give
from
that's
being
why I gave you the
shown.
handouts.
yeah. But I don't remember unless if it's there. I'll try to print it down. All right, second one, 18.
That'll hit.
Okay. For 12 slashing and 1 cold.
All right.
And
It seems
I
really
think
not like that little bit of cold.
I think I'll go ahead and pump a smite into that second level. Yeah, I'll do. No, we'll do first level. So that's an extra 2d6, I believe.
2d8.
2d8. Okay.
If it's a second level, isn't it 3d8?
I said I changed it to first.
Oh, okay.
15 extra damage.
And this is Paladin Smite? Or
Yes, Paladin
okay.
Smite.
Yeah, because that one does Radiant, the other one does 4, so I just wanted to know.
Yep.
You're surprised for a being soaked in necrotic energy that Radiant does not do as much damage as you thought it should.
But the cold seemed to do a lot, apparently.
Yeah. All right. The Forge Fiend is then going to use its legendary action at the end of your turn there to slam Nolgrim. 20?
That'll hit. Oof. Okay.
Well, remember, you have that temporary, so make some of it.
Yeah.
But it is now Thrum's turn, and you are grappled.
Can he bonus action go large while he's grappled?
Yes, you won't break the grapple, but you can go large.
Yep. So he will do that, and then he is going to beat the hell out of this motherfucker in front of him. He's going to hit him with the Scalebane Axe.
Mm-hmm. That'll hit. And that does, let me see. Yep. Okay, so that just kills it.
Very good. And then with reach, 10 feet, he'll attack. That one never got up. Fergus.
Well,
kept
it's also
kicking
10
down.
feet down too, so it's
Oh, too far.
yeah.
He only has 5 foot of movement in this form. Could he jump off?
Yeah.
All right. So he'll just jump down. I don't know if you want him to be under here.
Yeah, we'll just say you're under there.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn it, you're supposed to say underwear, Cope.
Underwear?
The moment was ruined, Cope.
Yep.
Golly, it's not my first time. I'll be quiet and go away. All right, he'll attack the big guy.
Okay.
I feel like that was a good choice.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. That is
12 plus 14, 26. I don't know if you have reductions on him.
Yeah. All right. So you swing the axe with your long rock arms, and it smashes the head of this thing. And though it does crumple into a pile of molten rocks, it is still vaguely pulsating, and the molten souls are still activated.
Killed it.
Yes, you did. However, is that the end of your turn?
Bonus action, movement, 2 hits. Yep.
All right. Even though that's at 0 hit points, it's going to use one of its legendary actions to absorb 3 of the souls. Regain 30 hit points to stand back up. Taskell.
Yeah, not unsurprising. So that natural 20.
Yes, you can use it. Let's see, what was the damage on that one?
Like 17 plus 15, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what happens: is Thrum jumps down, swings at it, like blows out a chunk of its torso, but then the molten dwarven souls merge back into it, and it stands up and it roars again for its entire head and neck to get imploded by a guiding bolt. It just goes straight back down again.
I've had those kinds of Sundays.
Bonus action, the hammer down to that one and see what we get. 12.
That'll hit.
For 8.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we've got to mop up all the little ones.
All right. This one, if you wonder why I moved one of those tokens to the side, because that's the one with the initiative counter on it.
Mm.
Oh, right, I forgot. Hold on. Actually be an extra molten soul because you inflicted 20 points of damage, so it poops another one out. There we go. Fergus.
Well, I am going to Hunter's Mark that thing now, the big one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to throw my axe again.
That'll hit.
For 32 points of damage. And if he goes down, I'm going to swing at one of the ones below me now.
All right.
It will not have Hunter's Mark or Sneak Attack.
Yeah, it'll still definitely hit.
20 points.
Yeah, it's destroyed. Here.
That's my turn.
All right. Absorb the one soul back into itself to try to pull itself back up. Its last legendary action. For the audience at home, this was a boss fight that you guys might have been able to find earlier.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Freya.
Give me just a second.
It's also nice to break up the
Oh yeah.
bureaucratic session with a
Mhm.
good hack and slash.
Okay. I am going to use my. Actually, how many times a day can I use the Flame Bane Analyzer? I think as many as I need, actually, looking at it. Because it's a
Bane
piece
is
of.
pretty basic spell, so it's not a big deal to give infinite uses.
So yeah, I'm going to use that on it again. This time I'm going to target its Constitution.
Okay.
Or, yeah, I'm going to target its Constitution. And then I'm going to use the Frost Shot on the Grim Witch Soul Rim Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
She thought we were giving those cannons back.
Dumb bitch.
So 30-foot radius.
It still failed. That's great. So that is 4d10 cold damage in a 30-foot radius. So I think that you'll get it, the Molten Souls, and Thrum, Fergus, and Nulgrim. So you guys also have to do Constitution saves.
If I do it right there, it won't get Fergus.
Okay. But it'll still
But
get the
it'll
other two.
still- Yeah.
What type of save?
Con.
Just everyone else is getting hit, and you see Fergus on the top. Hot damn, I'm important.
You just hear Freya call out magically, reverberated through her suit. Heads up. And then like a rail gun.
So do I take
Followed by a
22
cloud
then?
of ice hitting them.
Yeah, see, I don't think he's rolled the damage yet. How much?
Oh, okay. That said 4d10.
Yeah, roll 4d10 there. Michael.
4d10. Not that bad.
Okay.
Man,
That is the dichotomy of dice right there.
Let me check. Yep. All right. So, what you see here, what happens there, is you guys are fighting the monster. It's regenerating as you're blowing it apart, and Freya's just like you have inside your Iron Man suit. You go, yeah, all right. Heads up, everyone. Cannon comes out, goes, boom, flies through the air. Massive explosion of white shock. The Forge Fiend and the Molten Swords are all vulnerable to cold damage. The Forge Fiend had 10 hit points. Each of those Molten Souls had 20. Yeah, so Freya ends it, like, immediately. And even gives Nulgrim an extra little time in the cool rock before because the molten core begins to heat up again.
Yep, I'm gonna climb right up that chain.
With like an icicle hanging out of his beard.
Right. I drank that potion to make sure I wouldn't be touched by fire. I was touched by life-draining essence and cold. I was not expecting that this fight.
Well, that's how they get you. That's
Well, the important thing is someone touched you.
Yeah.
Either
way, it felt good to swing.
Feeling
swing
really good, guys.
I feel fine.
Yeah.
Also, we probably should get out of here before we melt.
Armor of Agathis on myself. Upcast.
Yeah, let's get out of here, fellas.
Yeah, does it look like the environment here is about to change, or is it just, kill this thing and now it's still?
It looks like just kind of a lava-y room to you guys. But Thrum.
Swan dive.
You, over the course of your sort of journey, have gotten a greater connection to the lands and the mountains as you have passed. You had a connection to the Earth's wound that was severed and replaced with your current connection to the Sunless Sea, which has been a rather distant and cold genius loci to have your mind and spirit connected to. But you feel an echo of a similar consciousness, long beaten and bereaved and chained down in the dark by cruel industry. It has been freed, but it's like a beaten animal, has not yet rise to the surface. Not sure if it can give the power it once had. You definitely get the impression that of all your companions, you're the only one that can sense this.
All these pipes are not natural. This was not normal. This was the catwalk and the pipes. These were all added.
Yes.
Is that true? We're going to have to clean this out. Yeah, we're going to have to fix the heart of the mountain.
Is it like just destroy this stuff, or do we need to haul it out?
Being a dwarf, do I know if the lava could consume this stuff if it was chopped up into small enough bits and thrown in to kind of fuel the fire?
Well, you see, that's the very issue right now, is that the fire is burning colder than it should.
Are you making it known to us, or just thinking on it?
Now, what if we got a red dragon to come and heat this place up?
Nah, it'd never work. Red dragon blowing flames into the billows of a dwarf mind to reignite it? Nah.
Are you saying I can't do that, Thrum?
It's all about recycling, really.
Saying you'd never see that in modern cinema.
Give me a wisdom save, Thrum.
Wow, that is oddly a really bad save for him.
And a really bad dice roll.
One.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is going to be even more entertaining than if you had hit the DC of 10.
I could give you Flash of Genius, but that would only bring you up to a 7.
No, let him. Whatever happens.
It wouldn't even work. It
Let
would
him
bring you up to a 7. It would only bring you up to a 7.
That's still a
All right, so I'm not going to tell you what you're going to do, Thrum, but I'm just going to say, based upon your experience with Genius Loci and stuff, the thought does occur to you of something that you could try to do to help.
Swan dive.
And that is jump in there and get so mad that you make the mountain hotter by proxy.
Well, he is still standing on top of what Nolgrim. Remember, he jumped down from the catwalk.
Yep.
His experience has been that he turned to rock, got crushed by rock, so smothered, so to speak. And in his anger of being smothered, turned into this red hot molten being that exploded and saved all his friends. Then he found a very angry area in the earth that he kind of gave that anger back to and quenched its thirst and got rid of his red hot molten. Then, as a rock man again, sunk down to the bottom of the ocean and got smothered there for 3 months. And when he came out, he was kind of like a wet rock creature. Now what he needs again is more anger. So I imagine now that Nolgrim has left the ground, it is now going to start dissipating again. and turning back into lava because he had turned it solid, right?
Correct.
Thrum is going to chug his fire immunity potion.
Mhm.
He is going to let himself sink down. He's going to give a little salute to his comrades.
The Terminator thumb.
Yep, as the hand goes down, the last his hand comes out, and he's going to give a thumbs up, and then he's going to shoot a bird at Fergus.
Tassel
Just to piss him off, he just yells down, "I'm going to turn the Dammerhall into a democracy, you shit."
I like to imagine he
all
noticed
the rage of the democracy.
all the rage of realizing that Fergus might have ended the world to save his ex-girlfriend. All that rage that
He's going to negotiate with the drow. He's going to let his girlfriend go.
This is just a therapy session for Thrum.
Yeah. Thrum just basically entered a sweat sauna.
You realize I was like a human 18, right? I'm barely a teenager.
So
that's magma. He's gonna be able to get out of there.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
you guys are watching Thrum fully immerse himself into the magma.
at least he gave the thumbs up, like, okay, this is intentional. He's doing something, but what?
I mean,
what are you
he's
guys
done
doing?
stupider things and it's worked out. So
Yeah, I mean, he has an idea. I wish he would have shared with us.
If he's like going
what
in
exactly
willingly.
his plan is, but I guess just stand back and just see. And Ogre will kind of try to gather everybody a bit closer and in case we need to book it.
As he goes under Gombo, he is going to use his water teleport ability to dice around the map, grabbing the pipes from below and trying to rip them in. And as he just gets more and more angry, going around trying to reclaim this area and renaturalize it from below the fire, from below the lava.
So as you're doing this, Thrum, fully submerse yourself in lava, moving about in there. What do you picture in your mind? Since you said you need the anger again, what are you using to get angry again?
The exact moment that his relationship ended with each wife, and that he knew it was over. Because as there were 7 wives, there are here 7 pipes. And perhaps not reconciling those
Oh, damn, he's right.
situations back in the day, this could be his moment through all of his study of calmness, anger. Maybe all along it's been not bearing the hatchet, so to speak, with those failures as he sees them of relationships. And this is his opportunity to remember, as he pulls down each pipe, the thing that ended each relationship.
Yeah. So you tap in to that deep well of frustration and anger. Your body heating up from the inside as it is being heated up from the outside. And that anger, I keep getting distracted by everything people put in the chat. I'll stop. That anger is being felt and touched on by the genius loci of the mountain itself. As all of you on the catwalk, the ground begins to shake and rattle as various parts of the metal, like the bolts, are starting to shoot out on the walls as the mountain itself is being able to reject it. And the lava begins rapidly bubbling and shooting up steam. Small little geysers just starting to come up. What are you guys going to do?
Nolgrim's edging back towards the door.
Yeah, I think we should clear the area, gentlemen.
You want to just get to a wall and I can port us out of here, or are we trying to stick?
Yes.
I'm going to. Can I retroactive? I'm going to. So you guys are actually going to teleport out of here?
I can if we need to.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that Thrum is able to actually get out. So I'm going to cast. Where is it? Protection from energy on top of my chill shield, so I should be immune from lava.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to dive in after Thrum and try to use my last fly spell to tap him and give him.
Well,
the
those are all
ability.
concentrations. I think you only do one at a time.
Yeah.
Fuck this stupid concentration mechanic.
If you want,
Hate
I could
it.
hit you with a fly.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Hit me with
I
that.
got you. Fly
That's
you,
got to
so-
be one of my least favorite things about this system with how many times it's come up.
Mhm.
In Pathfinder, you can just do all this shit, and then in D&D 3.5, it's, well, slow down there, bucko. You're not
Yeah.
concentrating.
I mean,
I
things
said,
could
they
get pretty
wanted to-
chaotic otherwise.
Yeah.
They clearly wanted to cut down on the loading things to keep track of, but
Mm.
then they made it all one thing to keep track of.
All right, so Freya is jumping in to try to give a fly to Thrum. And everyone else is getting out of there?
I believe so. I mean, Nolgrim and Tasklar, or at least Nolgrim's near Fergus.
Mhm.
Like,
I was gonna say let's until it like gets too dangerous to be here. We can just get all the way to like the elevator, basically.
Yeah.
And if it seems like it's too dangerous to stay here, we can teleport out then.
Mhm. Yep.
So basically, they wait until the last minute to teleport, but
Mhm.
they're just staying by me, so I can.
Mhm.
I think narratively, while Thrum's going through his destructions, he's found the root of some ability to call on some anger. He is going to tap back into the teachings that he's had with the monk, the 3 months of permanent rage under the ocean, the anger at being turned into a rock man, and kind of reconnect or try and tie those 3 elemental connections back into what he felt in the world wound, and try and ascend just anger and harness the sheer force that is at his fingertips right now.
Yes. All right. So give me a second here, because it's very much not Tolkien-esque fantasy, but I'm going to put on something with electric guitars, because that's always the music I imagine when someone's getting cataclysmically pissed off.
Okay, yep. I think that's the first time I've heard the phrase cataclysmically pissed off, and I like it. That's going to be a thing.
Terrifies me.
So, Freya, Thrum probably doesn't know this about this self, but when you go down there, you see him in like this milkshake slurry of lava, and he is taken on the form of what you would realize as his molten form once again. But Thrum, you're going deeper with your anger. You are embracing the pissed off rather than trying to smooth it over now.
Mm-hmm. I'm
It's
trying to
literally
think.
you feel the mountain around yourself also getting pissed off, as if the very spirit of the mountain that is within Dammerhall's like, yeah, why am I putting up with this shit? I just sit here my own fucking business and they come into my house. So
Yeah, right.
A primordial bitch fest.
as
The mountain and the lava and I just started a mosh pit.
I think that's called an earthquake.
Yep. Freya, could you give me a constitution save for your armor, as we are reaching a level of heat of this lava that is beyond fire damage?
First time I've ever seen rage damage, but wow. Impressive.
Yep, that's good. It's one of those, if your suit has dials, it's starting to redline, but you're not in like any damage yet.
Mm-hmm.
But you see the outer shell of Thrum's rocky magma body beginning to crack apart as somehow fire underneath lava is coming out now. As he is beginning to form a bond, not with the Sunless Sea, but with the mountain itself.
Holy shit.
This is metal. He sees you under the lava. He gives you the double point fists, like both fists pointing at you. And then like the Macho Man Randy Savage points towards the sky. Yeah.
So I was just doing random Google searches, Cope. How does this image strike you? I just DM'd it to you in Skype.
Oh God, yes.
Oh, we gotta see now.
Especially now that we got that nice guitar riff.
Yeah. As like a butterfly hatching from a chrysalis, Thrum reaches his final form. I'll put this in the Skype chat for you. I'll make a token later. I should have thought ahead, but
Oh shit.
Super massive singularity, baby.
They don't even no one watching this will understand what that is. We weren't recording when we were talking about the supermassive singularity.
But it's the new Thrum. I'm gonna go with that name. Wait, and it's also the SS.
No, there's an M in the middle. Supermassive is SMS.
All right, let's go with SMS.
So you see Thrum expand into that, and there's a rush like an ocean current as he explodes outwards. You're still immune to fire damage, right, Freya?
Yes, I'm still immune.
Okay. So you don't actually take damage from this, but you are hurled backwards, up through the lava tube. Ever you in the elevator, you see the lava level starting to rise. And it's coming towards you like an approaching wave.
Think we go.
Yeah.
I couldn't get close enough. I think he knows what he's doing.
Everyone just tap my shoulder and we're out of here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Freya will have to fly out of the lava tube somewhere else. You teleport away. But after, and this rumbling is felt throughout the entire mountain. But when it is finally resolved and it is settled down, the heart of Dammerhall now glows with new fiery life as Thrum emerges from the molten core. He cools back down to his his immolated form, and then returns to his back rock body. So I will need to make a handout in the future for what your third form is there, Thrum, but you get your immolated form back.
Nice.
Oh, where was that when we were fighting Benjarak?
Right. He's like the Silver Surfer of fire now.
But you are no longer bonded to the Sunless Sea, and you are instead bonded to the mountain that Dammerhall calls home.
I feel like that's even more fitting given your role within our council.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like an easy, like thematic thing. Now, when you do your deep water dive, you no longer do it in a swirl of water; you do it in a swirl of fire.
I like that.
But it's mechanically the same.
Yeah.
So, pretty successful day.
Yeah, yeah.
How's Thrum feeling?
He needs a cigarette. I gotta have a smoke after that. That was quite the bonding experience.
Well, I'll join you, man. That was. Wow.
You have to worry about popcorn lung when your lungs are made of rock.
I think I just fucked a mountain.
I'm pretty sure it was like I was with all 7 of my ex-wives in the fiery pool of heat and passion the size of a mountain. I think that changed me forever. You know what they say, once you go mountain, you never go back.
I mean, That's
Once you go
I don't know what
mountain,
to say.
once you go mountain, you never be pounding. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll work on it. We'll
Workshop.
find a
I feel
way.
like you're
We'll find a way to get this into a bard song for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
need to find a way to make it rhyme.
We'll commission this. As
Once
feel
you
like
go
you're
fire,
stretching
there's
just
no
to
other
rhyme.
desire.
Actually, I don't think we'll need to commission
Sometimes-
this. I imagine there's
Sometimes poetry doesn't need to rhyme.
no.
As long as you don't develop a foothill fetish.
Once you go magma, you never go backma.
I see you, Kenneth. Good one.
No, Thrum, that's called a book.
I don't think he can touch paper anymore.
Nah, he cooled back off. He's not in that form permanently.
Yeah, I don't use a bidet. I just make flames come out of my asshole and cleanse everything. I don't need paper. Wait, what?
That still
I feel
sounds
like-
unsanitary.
I feel like the music stopped and I was talking really loud and the end of the conversation came out.
I do like the idea that it's like somehow the stuff that sounds good when like heavy metal guitar riffs are playing, then you switch to talking music. Like, what the fuck am I saying?
There are children around, man. Watch my mouth.
But with that, the season is able to come to a close as the crews are able to go back in there. And with the heart of the mountain back and functioning, they're able to safely and respectfully channel the mountain's energy to light the forges above without needing coal or fuel or anything like that.
All right, we solved that
Is
problem.
that-
I'm gonna go back to chasing those adventurers now.
Surprised you didn't rise out with some sort of proclamation like intruders leave our home or something like that. I would have
I was trying to do something with the smoke, but I can't really make it into letters yet.
well,
We need to
I
get
think
carbonated
we'll-
beverages for you to learn how to do that.
Meanwhile,
I think
of course,
once they see
Corsica-
that stalk in the streets, they'll either come at you and reveal themselves or decide might be too much.
Actually, no.
Meanwhile,
This
of course, Connie, why is there a cloud over the mountain that says "fuck off, we're full"?
Because Thrum just learned how to blow fat O's.
And put little steamships through them.
Yeah, so season 4.
Mhm. Soon we will know how much of a deficit we're running.
Hey, we're on season 4. I'm pretty sure we're about to get a movie, baby.
Don't worry. Exactly. Either a movie or YouTube is going to pick us up.
Yes.
So,
Yes, let's call Netflix. We can get Sons of Dammerhall greenlit.
Oh, we're already canceled.
Yeah.
Damn it.
They said something about us talking about the SS a lot.
Also,
The-
we have beef with Stephen King, apparently.
They
And,
just really looked at the first couple lines of dialogue from Cope out of character, really. I mean,
I just read this. Our only standing offer is from Hulu, and I say we don't need to take that shit.
No, it's Disney.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, and they just watched the B Team episode, and now Cope is fired.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sad day, really.
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to make a character who
Look,
does
I've
what
got
he
a-
does there.
I've got an email from the Russians. Should I open this?
Yes. It's the only thing that can save you now.
All right. I really got to pee after that.
All right.
so did you guys end up playing a game last week then?
We did Aces of Astrosphace.
Okay, how was that?
It was
It was
good.
good.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
I enjoyed
I
it.
think that was the best
Channel
one.
now.
I'm the only one that wanted to keep my character, and I'm the one that played the alcoholic, and I didn't die.
Did you record that one?
Yeah, it says up on the channel now.
Okay, I'll check that out tomorrow then.
Cope's keeping his character. He just
He just needs a new ship.
He's going to try to negotiate for a new ship, so that'll be some rolls. I fucking lost it because Cope was playing like this aircraft carrier captain.
Okay.
And his whole thing was like tactics and analytics, which was very good. And the part that made me lose it, so he's like, wait, bring up the enemy movements on the monitor. See that? It's just like the Battle of Midway. And I said, wait, that battle that's canonically 2,000 years ago?
And his only response was yes.
Yep.
Also, Cope was insistent that his ship only has one escape pod, which is just for his captain, despite the fact that he's got an entire crew. So
He just ditched the rest. This is extra weight. It'll slow us down.
But then we said that someone had already taken it.
It got jammed in the ship from all the damage.
They call her the USS Expected Consequences.
yeah, he named his ship the Bloated Whale.
Oh god.
I suggested that he name it the Lyub. But...
Yep. Bring back the Lyub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course I played Piggy. What was his role? He was an
X-wing pilot in Star Wars originally, but you flew.
He was a hot shot.
Yeah, he was a hot shot.
Okay.
He died.
So I am. Gabbo and I have been talking about it a bit, but we're looking for a way to include that system into our Starfinder campaign.
Trying to streamline the ship combat.
No, so in situations where you're in like your communal ship, you'll be doing the combat normally. This is for more like large scale combat where everybody's got basically
smaller ships or something.
Yeah, where you're basically all given your individual fighter, like we got to defend this or we got to attack this. Not big ships but little fighters. Go that route. Because I plan on doing that for in space because I also already planned on doing something similar for mech combat on surface worlds.
Gotcha.
Where you're all piloting individual mechs.
Okay.
Are we going to be able to combine our mechs a la Power Rangers?
Every time.
I will certainly keep that into consideration. I'm going to strongly take that into consideration.
Can I transform from a mech into a mech shaped like a tiger?
I think I could consider something like that.
Everyone wants to do a Voltron.
Right?
Seriously, if we all... Here's the pitch, guys. Everyone just chip in $5 and I'll buy the PDF for the Power Rangers RPG and we can just get this out of our system.
I mean, you say that, but I've always loved Power Rangers. Okay.
So have I. I don't have anything against it.
I don't have a system in place for that ground combat yet, so...
Well, this is actually something we talked about in Ace Astrospaced, Loki, is that a studio called Renegade Games, their PDFs are incredibly overpriced, but they have a PDF, they have an actual RPG system for Power Rangers, Transformers, and G.I. Joe.
Oh, shit.
And then they have a fourth system that lets you play all four at once.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, oh my god, mixed Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe party?
Yeah, we need to do that for like a Christmas game.
Yeah, we got to do that. No, when we have our meet and greet in person, let's fucking do it.
We'll need to start chipping in money because each one of those 4 PDFs is $40 individually.
I'll chip in. I'll happily chip in.
Yeah, yeah. I really
so
like
wait
Renegade
a minute.
Games.
I like the idea of the Christmas game because we could be the toys that have come to life to save Christmas.
Oh shit!
A G.I. Joe, a Transformer, a Power Ranger.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
I'll buy one of the PDFs right now. Just tell me.
I'll I'll do it right fucking now. You try to stop me.
Oh man.
Yeah, maybe not for a holiday game, but I have an idea for a one shot where everyone has a blank character sheet. Just do 5e to keep it simple, and you don't know what your character is at all, other than the name and the picture.
Oh, I
and
love
you
that.
choose what you want to do, and I tell you what you do and what you roll, and you slowly fill out your character sheet as you play.
I've seen that concept before. That
Like
sounds
you
like so much
discover your
fun.
powers.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't know. Like, okay, like I want to beat this guy real bad, so I hurl something at him. Okay, roll me roll me a number, or roll me a d20, and you roll it. Okay, well, you rolled a 15, but your total is a 20, and you're like, okay, I had a 5 somewhere. Where is this? And you hurl a fireball at him. Oh shit, I have spells.
Something's get thrown at you. You just kind of try to block it with your shield, and a magical shield appears in front of you instead. You know, oh shit!
I like it. You hold
Finding
up
your
your hand
class
to
on
catch
going.
it.
Yeah.
Instead, it burns. Discover your powers.
Yeah, I like Renegade Game Studios stuff that they make, but they just really overprice the digital products. So I just usually lie in wait. Like they do all the new World of Darkness stuff like Vampire the Masquerade and Hunter, but all of it's very pricey, so I haven't touched it until literally this week when Humble Bundle gave a $400 value for $18. So I'm like, and purchased.
Whoa.
A really good idea for that, Richard, would be a game where everyone has like had their mind wiped, so they don't remember what class they are.
Yeah.
Anywho, we still got an hour left of this. So,
Yes.
Season 4.
All right. Nolgrim is going to go with the logistical thing and go through that stockpile of stuff and sort it, catalog it. Yeah, and set aside whatever valuables are there to be used for the kingdom. And see if we can get a little bit
do you want to take a statage of the factory wreckage or of the leftover ore stockpiles? It'll be two separate things.
I think the ore stockpiles. I think that's going to be more. Wait, so was the first one this basically
Leftover
remains?
Yeah, because all those factory buildings and smelters and
Yeah.
stuff.
No,
Even
no,
after you got rid of all the evil shit, like the steel is still there that you need to salvage.
Let's go with the ore stockpiles for now. Let's
Okay.
go with that.
All right. So because I would say the military's doing this, I would still call this a might roll myself.
Okay.
But then what other stuff that you think could factor in?
Let me see. Hearthstone, of course. Let me see.
Oh wait, sorry. Scratch all that. I was just looking at my notes for this task, and it says taking stock count of the raw ore stockpile. Since it's all in bins, there's no roll. You just declare that it's your action, and you get the result.
Okay.
So
all right, perfect.
Past me already knew what was up.
right.
All right. So you will get a new temporary asset called Excess Ore. It has 3 uses, and unlike Population Enthusiasm, it does not expire because it's just an excess amount. And you can might be able to leverage it to help it with economy when you need to do a roll for budget reconciliation at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could use it to reconstruct the Golem Foundry.
If I'm continuing the construction of that way, one place, do I just do the same roll I did last time, just without the enthusiasm?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I still had it like.
All right. Odds are the effect that doesn't matter because this is a D4 test, so any successful win.
Yeah, so I'll always use the 7 and the 6. So.
3.
So we have a place set up. Clan Embermane is helming it, but we are also participating.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a small trade outpost, but it's under their control. When I get the map for that section of the world set up, I'll put a little.
Could we say that we have something constructed I can teleport to that, or no? In case I need to introduce the clan to the other people.
That's just your ability says just.
It has to be a stationary built thing
Built
from
by-
the dwarf
but
craft.
they
yeah,
built-
then
Yeah,
there's
they built the
absolutely
city.
yeah, there's absolutely something there.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to make double sure because I feel like it would go a long way to have Fergus introduce Clan Embermane to these factions because he's met with all of them.
Mm.
And it also gives us a way to get there and be like, hey,
Mhm.
let's take some time to scope out what's happened since we've been gone from the fungal jungle.
Mhm.
Maybe not next session or anything, but eventually.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Might even be a task for Ivy.
Tass was definitely curious what has become of the area. It's been at least better part of a year, if not more.
Actually, I keep track of this. Let's see here. 5. Oh no, it's.
Yeah, it'd be almost 2 since that was the first couple months of our trip.
Yeah. I'm just calculating the exact amount of time. Hold on 1 second. 65, 5, 4, 2. Okay, so. Sorry, doing math. Yeah, it has been almost 2 years since you were back there.
Oh, you can also take our mushroom buddy back there without ever having to go through sunlight at all.
But this is all the stuff that's resolving at the end of the year, so we'll get through everyone's actions first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we also
Thanks,
introduce, we can send it back with the information that we want to trade with his people and stuff and give them what they want for what we might need. Because I'm sure he's willing, because he's not he knows we're not going to try to take advantage of them. We just literally want to trade.
Yep.
We need to start making plans for reconstructing our golem foundry.
Mm-hmm. Although I think at this point we might also need to try to find. So I guess I'm not sure how the end of year budget works. Do we have any income at this point, or?
Well, what it is that it'll be Cyrus, who's his die, which I have, plus your commerce, and then any other assets that you think would be reasonable. And I'll roll it all at once, and then I will pick 2 dice, and we're looking for a result over 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why my turn is going to be trying to improve the Father Temple, since it's a foundry and metalworks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said excess ore could factor in, because you could tap one of those dice, be like, we're sending excess more, because that's like a big way that you can kind of pad your economy. It's like Freya or someone else could be like, we're going to really focus on mining this year, and then you get excess ore assets, and then you could sell them off to help
the
out with
highest bidder.
Or, if I may, Tesco, with this new wave of energy, now that we got the heart of the mountain flowing, it could be good to use that positive note to then bolster and reveal the truth of what's going on in the afterlife. I think now's a good chance to, if we want to make a declaration on that and try to just bring it out in the open and motivate our people. It might be that extra boost of energy we need to go into the next year with that fervor to reclaim. And I feel like it's either you or Fergus need to make that proclamation as the spiritual and political leader.
Which kind of segues me into something I need to talk to you about.
Oh.
And I would reach into my bag and I would pull out the Book of Vile Darkness. And I would say, this was the book that held many of the secrets to what Bendrak used to construct his machines. I looked it over with Thrum a little bit, and I don't think there's anything good that can come of it.
I mean, the name alone.
No.
So if you want to make some sort of deal of destroying it, getting rid of it, I'm going to trust whatever happens to it to you, Taskell.
What did you learn when you reviewed it?
So just basically everything in it requires like massive amounts of human sacrifices.
Not everything, but the one thing that you're looking at to do.
So, but it is sort of a sacrifice. So like slaughtering pigs for farmland and stuff like that.
It's not just sacrifice. It's just it can accomplish literally anything, but the cost is always like unarguably evil.
Okay.
I can make an immortal army. It just so happens that they're all undead. Or
okay.
I can cure this disease. I can cure this failed disease, but then I need to put it on someone else.
Okay.
If it is what it claims to be, then destroying it is probably out of our means at the moment. Definitely seal it away, at least in the royal vault.
For sure.
So,
Add it to the pile.
if it is
maybe even throw that one in a lead box just to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
We could have a boot burning.
Speaking of, I'm also going to have to construct a permanent casing for that artifact. Looking around, making sure no one's listening, that was left behind. Referring to the not crack Bendrak comeback.
Oh,
Yeah. Currently, I have that sealed in the chest that only I or someone probably of my lineage could open.
So everyone except for Taskell and Freya.
Yeah.
But I have some ideas for how to keep that.
I did say I at least put an extra arcane lock of my own on there on top of everything else.
Yeah. It's essential that crack. That nut does not crack.
Do we have to I feel like we also have to look into suspending it, because isn't it going to rot at some point?
No, I imagine since it's a magical thing, it's kind of there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's one thing not to worry.
I'm not gonna Google how long it takes the shell of a walnut to deteriorate over natural means.
Ice Age squirrel runs through.
That will be a wild thing. Just so yeah, it might be a good time to make that announcement. If you wouldn't mind just holding off on the temple for a few months.
I guess it's more the aftermath of the announcement that would take time to deal with than actually make the announcement. But
right. But I think now's a good chance to, do it on a positive note, at least as positive as it could potentially be, because we're using it as a unifying force. And
that's fair.
Can you imagine how much of a mortal enemy that guy would be if we had to deal with him in this campaign? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I have a question really quick. Did that appear to be the thing that Bendrak was talking to, that we were eavesdropped in on, that magma thing?
Oh no, that he was communicating with the Burning Vengeance, who then afterwards reached out to Taskell.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, no, that wasn't his little pet golem. That was at the very least some sort
that Forge Fiend thing was more like the bridle on the horse.
I feel like getting the three temples up to at least a reasonable level of power is going to be more important. But I mean, the shock of it has kind of already precipitated into the population just from being a rumor.
But a speech you could hypothetically bring that civic stress down to 0 if you succeeded.
And yeah, I guess it's not too big of an issue, but I feel like at a certain point we can't keep putting it off. Again, it was just a recommendation. You certainly don't need to.
What have we been doing for the last year when a dwarf dies?
Well,
Imagine
assumedly, the same rituals.
Yeah, imagine the dispersed clans are still doing that.
Well, so at that same time, are we telling the people here not to do it the way that they've always done it?
As far as we know, the afterlife is safe again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it safe now? We're just dealing with the aftermath of the ones that were caught.
Okay, well, let me clarify the news that has reached the populace. Is that Taskell talked to the people of the temple and told them that the black iron golems locked in the basement where no one should go were made for dwarven souls. I don't think the news of how industrialized the harvesting of the afterlife has reached general population yet. That's why it's only a D4 of civic stress.
Okay, I got
because they're all like, wait, we're sitting on top of an army made out of our dead relatives just beneath our feet.
I got you. Okay,
fucked up.
Okay, I got the wrong idea of what was out there then. Okay.
I mean, at the same time, but it's probably going to come to the surface at some point. The whole harvesting the afterlife thing.
Yeah, I think we need to get on that. That's the thing I'm saying. You know, we're going to have to prepare for that. That's something we'll have to share though and make known.
Shouldn't we fix it before we share it?
How are we going to fix it on our own if we don't know what they're trying to do?
I want at least either a breakthrough or solid idea on if it's possible to salvage the soul.
In that regard, because it is a very much spiritual thing, I think you're right. Stick with the game. The temple's up and going. You're right. You're on the right track. Sorry, I was misunderstanding the situation.
This is good conversation. This is why we have councils.
All right, so for that, I'm using my role industry because we're kind of clearing rubble or anything left over, reinforcing buildings and putting new decorations.
And you're doing the mountain temple currently because you gave a nice speech, so I'll let you bring all 3 back up to operation. But from now on, you're gonna have to do one at a time.
Yeah.
Cool.
The assignment of resources, and imagine Heart of the Mountain kind of pairs well with industry because that's the whole point of it.
Got it correct.
Anyone else got anything they feel like? I mean,
if you're
population or capital in on this, but
if you're gonna be harping up the fire temple, I can show off my new robes again.
I think he's doing the mountain temple actually.
Yeah, Father was the forge. I kind of figured Mother did.
Always get Mother and Father backwards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd think fire with forge, but still. And kind of industrial, humanitarian, and judicial is kind of how I broke down the 3 when I gave my little speech. So.
All right.
Yeah. Use population as well. But I think
I don't know. Could I go as just someone who is also there, and then also have like the, I don't know, family element? You're talking to a church. You got your daughter, or whatever, there who is also there when it all.
Well, this is more expanding the operation, getting it running. All that.
He's just physically.
So I mean, if you want to help with one of the other 2, I mean, I was going to use the fire temple after I got it up a little bit to try and quell some of the population and maybe the civic, but at the same time,
the population stress right now is just due to a numerical few number of people within the city. That's why Fergus has been whining and dining dwarven clans, because every time you get a new clan involved, that stress is going to drop by 1 level.
Yeah, that's my next goal, is to start whining and dining the warmongers and try to turn them into a navy.
When do we collect taxes? Why don't we have any money?
We haven't started making anything to sell yet.
All right.
Well, I guess that's.
I feel like that's kind of worked into the intrinsic commerce.
For measure if it counts.
All right. So this is going to be a multi-stage one here, Kenneth. So it is going to be a difficulty of 2d8. I am also going to be factoring in your population stress due to the construction project of the size. So you can pick which 2 dice you want to go towards success, and then which one is going to, make progress.
Yeah, well, that kind of selected itself. We got 15 from the D8 and the D10. Mine's D10 as well, so.
All right. I'll just
So
pick
population's a D8.
2 highest of my rolls. All right, so I got 15.
So it's a
we're
tie.
tied.
All right. So it'll just go by 1. So it's now a D6 project. I will write that down on my spreadsheet here.
We need some more bids.
There we go. I got wise and started noting the stuff down. So progress has been made, but it's slow. All right, that leaves Freya, Thrum, Nilgrim, and Ivy. Right.
Well,
I
as
think
long as,
Nolgrim did the ore this turn.
Oh,
wasn't he?
Norgrim did the ore. Fergus did the outpost.
well, as long as we don't have any money.
Well, I mean, we do have
You
commerce,
have
general
you
commerce
have
going
money.
on.
You just don't have excess amounts of money
Yeah.
gushing out your asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I feel like we need to get some sort of core of engineers. Or
I agree. I think we need to start working on industry and commerce.
Perhaps we could fashion the excess ore into sellable parts and start distributing it
Oh, hold on.
to different communities for sale.
Potentially, I mean, we'll deal with that. But Florian, what were you saying? What step are you thinking?
well, right now we need people that can build stuff. That's my main thing.
Mhm.
So anything that gets us closer to that. So if you guys are going to do something that gets us closer to getting people that can build stuff, I'll help you. And if not, I'm probably just going to experiment more with the black iron.
I mean, are you able to establish guilds? Is that something we're able to do?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you established a training academy.
That's true. I mean, if you want to draw it in, might be a good chance to just show we're ready to take on guilds and, have formal craftsmanship.
Because remember, every new organization you found is something I can play with.
Mm-hmm.
Muddy the water.
Keep it in your pants, Combo.
Yes, never. I've never played a role-playing game with pants on.
This is why we're on not on a video call. None of us wear pants.
No one uses this chair but me.
Fergus, how long did you say it was going to take it for you to make nice with the artificers?
I'm hoping that's going to happen soon, but no promises.
Okay, then we need to start collecting potential candidates from around the city and maybe start establishing the fledgling version of my future College of Runeworks. Get some engineers, maybe some engineers in training, work them up, teach them myself.
Yeah, for sure. If you'd like, Gamba, would I be able to lend the Hearthstone Military Academy to them to try to, kind of also develop a, core of engineers there too?
Well, see, this is now we're going to get into organizational differences, because is Freya wanting to found a government entity much like the Hearthstone Academy, or is this going to be more of a civilian place of academic learning and expansion? The asset would still be helpful either way, but this is kind of determining how will this affect the budget? How will this interact with other institutions? Because Hearthstone, you are paying upkeep for into your budget because it's a government institution.
My plan for the college was a literal college.
Okay.
But like state funded or private funded?
Well, I mean, what's the point of being related to the king if it can't be state funded?
All right. Big government. I like it.
You know how many suits got destroyed for us to get here?
A little
Like
bit of graft never toppled kingdom.
All right, so then that falls into the second question. Is Nulgrim going to try to co-opt this college to turn it into a military operation for explicitly poaching for good engineering students for military?
Hey, and I don't mind if it's a military academy situation.
No, then that's fine.
Listen, it's like certain places only go towards Harvard for their graduates so they can hire the best. They're only going to hire the best engineers from her college to work for the government.
It's not so much that I'm looking to poach, but I'm going to be one of those of, if you want to get into the political and military side of things, this is where you go.
Okay, so Mike, I guess a more clear question is this going to be its own separate institution with its own chain of command, or is this we just negotiating for an upgrade for Hearthstone?
Oh. No, I don't think I want it as an upgrade to Hearthstone.
Separate.
I think it's a separate thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, separate institution.
Yeah.
Then in that case, I don't think the Hearthstone asset could be helpful here.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Not even to what about the idea of, I don't know, you said there were, I guess there's not really anyone that trained there at this point, is there?
Right, but you could use Clam Embermane because they do have quite a few rune scholars amongst their numbers. That would probably factor.
Alternatively, we do have old records throughout the capital, right? Do you think we could use historic capital and then, remaining knowledge that survived, especially on this level?
Yeah, I would say if you make this a lore check, you could use historic capital and Clan Embermane.
Okay. Do I have to
Yeah, this is going to be a roll.
No, do I have to consult with Fergus or anything about that, or?
I mean, he can just give a yay or nay.
You just come into the throne room one day when I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, "You want to do what? Sure, go ahead." And I'm just looking down at this paperwork, oh god, I'm gonna have to talk with warmongers.
All right, so that would be. Let me get it all calculated. So Freya's a 1d10 plus commerce is what we're using, right?
This would be more of a lore check.
Yeah.
It's still a
Lore.
D6, but yeah.
Lore and historic capital?
Historic capital and Clan Embermane.
Okay, nice.
As I say, Clan Embermane is all a bunch of rune scholars and stuff.
Yeah. So they'd probably want to get on that too, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Where is oh, there it is, D6. 1d6, and Clan Embermane is another d6.
Okay, so it looks like you're rolling at 10 there. So this is going to be a 2d6 plus a d4 for civic stress. All right, you succeed. It is not going to be an expansive university. Well, actually, better yet, let me ask this. How much funding are you wanting to do it right now? Based upon your role for what you've been able to construct, you can either do a budget increase of 1 for a D4 or a budget increase of 2 for a D6.
I'll consult with everyone else. What do we think? We got
So
six
what are the
left.
choices?
D4 for 1, D6 for 2 to the budget.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think we're on kind of tight constraints with the budget. I don't want it to get too high too early, but
6.
But I
Do
feel
we
like
have any-
this could be something that could permeate throughout the rest of the economy, though. It could potentially be used to pay dividends
this
in
is
the
fair.
future.
That's why I said just my opinion. I'll go with whatever
Yeah.
the majority rules here.
And
Once we get the College
I'd
of
say go
Runeworks-
big.
Okay.
When you have the opportunity, go big.
yeah,
I mean, that's already 3 of us, so that majority rules there. So go big.
All right.
Okay.
we got this stockpile of ore. It'll help with this. Help us cover our debt a bit.
Turns out it's all just tin.
It still could be sold. Still could be sold.
All right. College of Runework.
As far as Ivy goes, I did actually have an idea for what I wanted her to do.
Yo.
Cause she, I know she's a spice manager, but spies could also be used as like scouts and stuff too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very
Because I wanted them to go through. I think it's the Undergate that goes into the Underdark.
Mhm.
And see if they can find an entrance to the waterways that we've explored that's close
Sure.
to our entrance, because that's going to lean towards my goals with the clans coming up here.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'll just tell you up front, this is going to be a 2d8 level task, factoring in population stress, because you need to have enough scouts going out there, and it's going to be a progress one.
Gotcha. So, Ivy plus which attribute would you think it would be?
I feel like this would actually be a might, because it's like a physical manpower mobilizing.
Gotcha. And then, do I add population or you add population?
I'm adding it to the difficulty. Don't worry about that.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I had to add anything. Could I use since we're using that? Could I use the distinctions then with dwarven population? Since I'm utilizing the population to explore, or is it like
The dwarven
counteract it?
I'm just thinking, because the dwarven population thing, despite the name population being used twice, dwarven population is like skills that are very particular to the dwarves as a culture, and this is Underdark exploration, so yeah, I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Okay. So
And you said you're using the Undergate as a base of operations, so you
Yeah.
can use that for.
Okay. So. Sorry, I'm just typing it out.
Yep, no worries.
So. Some lackluster rolls there.
Mm-hmm. Pick your dice before I roll.
I guess I'll go with the 4 and the 5 because I have a bunch of D4s, so I can use those for the succeeds.
10.
Beats me by 1.
So no progress yet, but the search is ongoing.
Gotcha.
It's a whole lot of like scouting out the many tunnels. The Labyrinth of Demise is very aptly named, as it loops back in on itself a lot with a lot of smaller side chambers and caves.
And they're probably doing their best not to get lost, so it takes a little longer.
Right, not to mention avoiding danger.
Yeah.
If you didn't give a shit, you could have increased your population stress to say, no, be reckless. I don't care how many casualties there are. Find me those answers.
Not that far gone yet.
Yeah.
It's only just been a year. Give them a little bit.
Yeah.
Got to earn their trust first.
Thrum is the only one left.
All right. So Thrum, in his natural patrols and things, he's gonna try and take a temperature of the townsfolk, and how many people here now don't really have something to do? Are they all putting themselves into the workforce?
They're dwarves. They always find something to keep themselves busy. There's
Okay.
a lot of like abstraction that we have going on here. I was saying, you guys do have a functional commerce, especially now that you've got other clans and their own little section that they have now having a thane off to. The trade road is arduous, but they do sell to that thanedom.
So After a
I'm just
year,
imagining.
go ahead.
I'm just imagining you going up to one of these dwarves, and they're like, "Of course, I've got something to do. I move the rock out of in front of my daw's door, and then I move it back when she comes back, so that I have something to move out when she needs to get out again."
Yep, right. And I was thinking maybe do an insight roll to try and pick parts of the population. And here's what I want to do. I've been spending a year chasing these adventurers. They're down in lower levels. We don't need to be down there. We need to be focusing on cleaning up, getting rid of all these industrial sites that aren't natural to dwarven kingdom. Reclaiming what we can from those, adding them to the ore pile, making a steel pile, making almost a reclamation team that's going to go from the top level down. I don't know what you want to call it, cleaning and refurbishing, reclaiming our areas and tearing down all this industrial crap and getting rid of all the pipes and the cast iron pipings and all those things you were talking about that aren't they aren't part of Dammerhall, and they need to get taken care of. And I'm not going to keep chasing these adventurers down further and further and further. I'm going to take away their hiding spots that are up here close to us.
Yep.
By getting rid of these, shanty towns.
Would that be the same as basically stockpiling the stuff that was down there, kind of like what I did with the ore above? Because you said that there was two things.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Okay, perfect.
All right. I would say this would be an industry roll.
All right. So Thrum has a 1d8 plus. Can I do an outside insight to gain any benefit from people who are good at this in our population?
I would say from the way you're describing it about trying to restore it to like how it should be, I would say you can just go ahead and use historic capital as a distinction.
Okay. All right. And then we got to change the name of the asset. I think
so this one required a roll.
Yes, this one did require a roll.
Okay.
From
because
SMS.
Oh yeah, it's already been sorted. Mine was already sorted pretty much.
Yeah, it was just all big bins you needed to go through with a clipboard.
Yep, I gotcha. All right, understood.
Time consuming, but Bendrak with many terrible things, unorganized was not one of them.
Right.
All right.
12. That's solid.
So 12.
Okay, so
and with a D8 kicker, if that matters.
Yep, it does. It's a 2d10 difficulty.
Okay.
Nice.
So that brings it down to a D4 because you said you have a D8 kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that brings it down to a D4 task. So you can use an action on your next time, and it'll be a much easier one. I'm just making a note of that. Excellent progress.
Once again, I'm jumping right back to that analogy. You lift up a rock and all the little things come out, and that's basically what they're doing. Just finding squatters everywhere.
Just so you know, I'm probably going to stick to that unless Thrum squad's needed somewhere else, because that personally is what matters the most to Thrum.
I think that's a good use, especially now that your SMS is basically the local enforcement agency, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So now that we got that, yeah, definitely.
Basically cleaning out the shanty towns.
All right. Before I get into some role play stuff at the end of the year, we're going to do budget reconciliation real quick. So, Cyrus is a D6 at this job, and your economy is also a D6. Any other assets you wish to factor in?
I want to put the one use of the excess ore to that to get a D8 in there.
And like I said, the mountain temple is big forge thing. So
So is the Forge Fane.
Oh yeah, so if we could use the Forge Fang, that'd be great too.
Mhm.
Um,
And Temple. And then everyone's okay with using one excess ore?
Well, unfortunately, one of the Longbeards, spoke up with one of the new rules that were implemented, and now we don't have any Speaker of the House. So we're just going to go into a government shutdown, I think.
All right. So you're just looking for a combination of 2 dice here that equal 8 or more. And you got several 8s just flat out.
Hey.
Nope.
Hey, that's what I'm
Economy.
talking about.
And that's why they call us the Dwarfiest.
So you do not take, because if you had failed that, you would have taken stress. It's usually economic stress, but you could make an argument in character about how you like shift the stress of the economy to another sector. Like you pressure the lords underneath you to get additional taxes and turns it into political stress, or you take it out of the citizenry and that's a civilian stress, civic stress.
Okay. Okay.
But it's traditionally economic, but I like
Blame the drow.
Yeah. Yes. It's the drow's fault that you're all starving and we have peace.
Yep. No, that'll be civic stress.
Yeah, that's civic stress.
Okay. So.
All right. So before we get into season 5, a couple things. Freya. Let me flip to make sure I get the notes for the name stuff right. You get a message one day from a dwarf who's manning the team that was restoring the Mountain's Heart. The dwarf by the name of Gulnir Gnomefriend. Saying that they've made a discovery down at the heart of the mountain and that he wants you to see it to get your input on it.
Yeah, I'll definitely go check it out.
Mm-hmm. So you go there. The team has been taking a while to make sure that it's all restored to like dwarven culture. The rune work is uprated. It's not near as invasive or industrial. It's kind of like where when Bendrak stuff was down here, when you fought the Forge Fiend, it felt like you were fighting inside an oil derrick. It feels now like you're arriving at like a holy site now, which is a good improvement. You see Gulnir Gnomefriend. He's older than you, probably closer to Taskell's age. He's got like a curly light brown beard. He's got some of those like spectacles that got like the multiple lenses that overlap. He's a artificer of some skill. Pushes up his glasses and he goes, Forgethane, thank you for coming. There's something of a situation. I don't know how to quite make use of the information. I thought you might know. He gestures the wall. Look around. Tell me what you see. Give me a perception.
Okay.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary. It's just rock walls.
You're going to have to point it out to me.
Well, you see, noble Forstein, that's exactly what I'm speaking of. There's nothing here and embedded in the stones. How familiar are you with the origin founding myth of Dammerhall?
Should I give a roll?
Sure.
Or
history. History you want, or I can exposition it. Either way. $20. Yeah, when he brings that up, you take a moment to scratch your memory. You remember the origin founding myth was Durin Trinehammer, who would become the first king of Dammerhall, came here with an expedition of dwarves and did battle with the great blue worm, the dragon Encephalon. According to legend, it might be a bit apocryphal, he battled the dragon 1v1 for 7 days and 7 nights before lodging his axe deep in the dragon's heart and throwing it into the heart of the mountain. And that's kind of where like the wires in your brain connect, and you go back and looking at the walls. That was probably 600 to 700 years ago, but dragon bones are made of sterner stuff. Even the molten heart of a magical mountain wouldn't be able to melt them down. But there's no fossilized dragon bones here at all, and there's no signs that there ever were dragon bones down here.
Well, that's slightly unnerving given the nature of the previous occupants.
That's why I wanted to bring it to your attention, Noble Forstein. I was unsure of what to make of this information.
Well, good eye. I have to go alert the other members of what are we called?
I believe the official term that His Majesty King Fergus coined was the Council of Idiots.
Well, I have to go convene with the Council of Idiots, and
that's the COI you're talking about?
No. You see, that's the name behind closed doors.
The funniest part is probably the king naming all of his advisors the Council of Idiots would be something that would cause no political waves whatsoever. They would just be all the dwarven nobles go, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Can it be the Council Idiot Advisors, like the CIA?
Not everything needs to be an acronym.
I mean, to be fair, with that name, the bar is kind of set low off the start, so
yeah.
Any minor success, I mean, there it is, but at least it's improving our lives a bit.
They just chalk it up to a king just being like sassy.
Right.
But yeah, I would tell everyone else that I think there might be some skeletal dragon around, perhaps.
So now we've got 2 dragons.
Maybe. One might be undead. Actually, do you think whatever memory that's inside these machines would know where it is?
Maybe.
I could try to get one to lead us there.
Consult the literal ghosts in the machine.
On a different day after this, King Fergus, you're in the palace, doing... What is it you do most days?
Well, I mean, actually doing work he would be doing. It would be a lot of like kind of comparing notes of his that he's gathered information on the other clans, the surrounding areas, and trying to figure out, okay, what's going to be the best way to approach these people? Who should I send? Like, he wouldn't be doing nothing, but on the times when he isn't doing nothing, he'd probably just be chilling in his chair, just killing time. Like, he doesn't actually have any of his hobbies here. He'd probably spend some time maybe like researching like alchemy, but in terms of like actual entertainment, he doesn't really have a lot here.
So he just kind of jerks off in the throne room.
No, that would relieve his stress. His stress is at top levels right now.
The question is, do you send for your ex?
Well, see, that's the find her and bring her. That depends, actually. If he's going to do it with big fanfare, that's not an action. If he wants to do it subtly, he has to send Ivy.
Yeah,
go for it.
Oof.
What the fuck? I thought him and Ivy were getting married.
Then he's gonna have to explain to Ivy, like, yeah, I need to go get my wife or fiance.
I
Freya's
feel like
over in the corner. All my fan fiction is wrong.
I mean, I feel like if this was like an animated series, that'd be like a spin-off short arc or like just a side episode of
Like
Ivy and the
Krillin's
X.
girlfriend in Dragon Ball.
Well, that
Right,
would
They
actually
have
exactly.
bequeathed.
a lot of this actually is probably Fergus's like actual dilemma. Does he want to involve her into this, or should he just let her go thing? And he's doing that thing where he's like, I'm stuck and I don't know what to do, so I'm just doing nothing and thinking really hard.
As you're pondering this in your office, I guess there was a knock on the metal door of one of the guards asking the permission to come in.
Yep, come in.
My king, there has been a report message sent by Jarl Jorgen, who's managing the trade outpost for Clan Embermane. Told to deliver to you directly.
Of course. Just probably reach out and grab it. It's like a rolled
Yeah,
parchment
it's like
or
a
something.
scroll. Yeah, exactly. Long story short, it is describing how on the over the mountain track that's not really like mapped out currently, but they have like it's long and arduous, but that's the only way they're able to get stuff to the very small outpost that this new Jarl is in charge of. That they had recently found something, or more accurately, something found them. Apparently, a perfectly spherical boulder, approximately 4 meters in diameter, fell straight down from the sky next to the road.
Oh.
And there was a silver ring wrapped around this perfectly spherical boulder. It was written in runes. It's in actuality the language of giants, but dwarves use the same script, so they're able to translate it. It says that this marking stone marks the edge of the Cumulus Dominion.
Fucking wind! I knew it.
No action's been taken, but they just felt that it would be wise because technically the top of the mountain aren't in the jarldom of that jarl that's been assigned to that area. So he's just informing you. You haven't actually partitioned the mountaintops out to anyone yet at all.
I'm gonna make some sky dwarves. That's like my favorite genre of dwarf. Okay.
Oh my!
Because
Real
unexpected.
Really, Michael? I mean, we need to do Age of Sigmar. There's an entire faction of steampunk sky dwarves. That's like a main faction of dwarves.
Is that like the floating island? Yes? No?
No, it's
airship dwarves and
we played some of the Age of Sigmar with
yeah.
the flying dwarves before.
Yeah, you remember you had the giant metal balloon on your back and you flew around with it?
Yep.
But yeah, that is the report that has come through.
Yeah, I think even Fergus would probably know of storm giants and cloud giants and stuff. So I'm pretty sure
it's even if you didn't, I feel like with the months that you have, you could stick your head out the door and go, "Anyone know anything about giants?" And you could probably get the information of the basics.
Yeah. And was this like when they describe it? Was it like an intentional like drop down, or is it like looks like it was just landed there out of chance?
It's impossible to know. It definitely was not there earlier when they came by it, so it definitely fell from the sky pseudo recently.
Okay, it didn't like fall on people or near people.
It didn't fall on people, but it did fall near to the path that they'd been using. Whether that was dumb luck or intentional, impossible to know.
I think we should send a formal message informing them how dangerous doing that is. I'm serious. They could have killed someone.
Also find them.
This
for
could have been a
littering.
diplomatic disaster.
We could have someone draw up a really large rune that says "trade?" and just put it on top of the boulder and see if they respond.
Just launch it right back.
I don't think we have that many ups.
We could find a way.
White dwarves can jump.
We've got an engineering academy now. We'll figure it out.
I just look over at Thrum. Oh, really, Thrum? jump for me.
Yes, that is one side of the elemental plane that I have not yet encountered. I'm interested in learning more about the wind.
I also love the idea of Fergus sticking his head into Freya's office. Hey, what do you know about getting things into this air? And Freya just flips over her desk, is like, fuck yes!
These schematics are older than the journey to get here.
All right, table everything. Multi-stage rockets are happening right now.
So, how do you feel about the term sky galleon?
I feel like it's
feel
very
like-
long-winded, which seems like the intent.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like someone's going to shorten it to scallion.
No.
That's it. They're forever known as scallions.
I'm full of a lot of hot air.
No, you're not. You're made of rock.
And piss and vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be downwind when it comes out.
So that's just on the long list of stuff we need to deal with.
That's all the end of year information I have for you.
I think this round of actions. So, would I be able to use my military to basically forge the path or the road from Dammerhall to the
Over the
outpost or whatever?
mountains?
Yeah.
I would say yes, because we talked about this whole Roman engineering thing, but I would say that would be a might, not an industry, if you're
Okay.
doing it that way.
Okay.
I don't know. They were really good at that.
Okay,
Yeah.
listen, I am being very kind to you. You can still use dwarven population. Meet me halfway here.
I'm good. Okay. I think I'll go that route then, and that will also help. I think he'd want to try to avoid conflicting with the boundary that was.
Do we want to
stated
continue
this past.
next round of stuff since it's around 8 o'clock anyway?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. I
Yeah,
lost track of
whatever
time.
you guys want to do.
Because I have to get off soon because I have to work in the morning. But,
Okay, I'll just make a note of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Good session. A little bit. Of
Yeah,
kingdom
very good
magic.
session. The thing on the Roman military that I like in juxtaposition to the dwarven military as I see it is the leaders of the military were the ones who were educated in the universities and such, and it was basically engineering that they were getting taught: how to build walls, how to build defensive structures, how to build bridges,
And how to tear them down.
that too, and where their best weak parts. They were the legionnaires, like the ones who were the captains or whatever, weren't just because they were rich kids and went to university. It was also they were rich kids who went to university and learned how to, all the engineering things Loki knows. So it's just something to look at.
One thing I also forgot that I have in case we ever need to barter with people. I forgot that I still have quite a few vials of that ambrosia. And I imagine there's a lot of people who would be happy to trade to get their hands on that.
Very much so.
What does the ambrosia do?
Extends your lifespan. And
Oh.
negates the effect of old age.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah,
10
that's
just
why
years?
you're
took
not-
that.
That's why you're not 50 anymore.
Well, he still is. He just doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Can I do
Oh.
a stealth to take that?
He still,
You don't know that
to
I
this
have it.
day,
Yeah,
never told
nobody
anyone
had-
that he
yeah.
had it.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that knows that I have it. And that's as far as I've ever told anybody.
Nice.
But this is not a character saying that I have that if I need to barter with it.
If you trade that away,
I've already
I
taken
mean-
one. I don't need more.
That could be something. I mean, I don't know if Caliburb is immortal or not, but if he becomes a problem, that could be a way to convince him. Could you find elsewhere?
No, what you
Wait, so we
do-
want the problem child wizard to live longer.
No,
Sure,
he's saying,
just
no,
elsewhere.
What he's saying, Richard, is that you get a big box and a stick, and then you put a vial of ambrosia underneath.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
and it comes down on top of him.
I still say if that's his tower down there, we just go up there and tell them that he needs to start paying rent, and he'll leave. Worked last time.
I thought you did.
Yeah, and that's
But
when he
he's
left
still
the
there.
house, and now he's down there. So we just keep doing it until he gets farther and farther away.
Okay. As long as he doesn't push back.
Do we know anything about this magical fortress? I keep forgetting that is.
We still haven't really done much to it.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
been
that
a
was
year.
Caliburn.
Yeah, but
I
we
thought
haven't
it was
investigated it.
Investigated it.
Fair.
So it's on the 3rd level where no one lives yet.
Very few people live, but yeah.
I mean,
All right.
that seems like something for the City Watch to also do.
Yeah, it does, but
Yeah.
I want us to not I felt like we were diving too deep. So I like where
No, I think
that last action was.
past
And
action
let's
was
clear
better,
the first level,
Yeah.
clear
Okay.
the 2nd level, and then get to the other shit.
Okay. Yep. Nope, that's a good call. And I think it was a good call clearing it out.
My job is to help expand. Your guys' job is to help solidify.
I feel like I'm just basically the I wanted to say let's rename me as the sanitation and son of a bitch, I went SS again. I really did like that mentally went through my mind right before you said what do you want to do, and that's what made me pause for a minute because I had it all planned out and I was like, oh, we're gonna act as the sanitation and oh son of a bitch, I got another S in there.
With Cope, it always comes right back to SS every time.
Why? I had like 4 things typed out to run
really do a call
to see what terrible acronym I had come up with.
Name your police force the
basically
Quarry Quadrant.
every 2 or 3 sentence thing you say that has an S in it ends up bad. I googled something that was I come up with I don't know safety administration. Apparently the SA was a prior form of the SS, and then there was.
I feel like it's going to be hilarious when it gets to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to avoid every word with S, and then it spells KGB.
Not everything needs an acronym, by the way, Cope.
This is true.
Yeah.
I want acronyms.
Okay, here's a good way to do acronyms without it turning into something bad that I do, Cope. Take the word that you want to be an acronym and then find a word for each letter.
Yeah.
Start with the acronym and work backwards.
I don't like that. That's cheating. You have to live with the terrible acronym you have put on there.
All right, that's why I took a minute to name my account.
Whatever. I don't even remember what SMS is, but that's what we're going with.
Well, it's a shame that you named it Hearthstone, Loki. Otherwise, I would recommend Cope name his police force the Hearth Guard.
And he can. I'm not opposed to it.
I didn't like guard. I wanted something that was. I had one thing I had come up with was like citizen protection group or something, and I googled it.
I don't know.
The Dammerhall protection group, but I very much want it to be about the citizens and lifting them up. I don't want it to be about
And then he
strict
looked
rules or
Maybe-
policing or
Maybe
Somebody
go
looks
with watch instead of guard.
And then he looks up Citizen Protection Group, and it's some sort of like German anti-Semitic mafia. That
well, I spelled citizen with a K, and it was KPG.
Dammer Watch? DW?
Dammer Patrol.
Here we go.
Oh,
Cope.
God.
Stole
Go
straight from a cartoon for you.
Owaka.
Waka.
What
Waka.
is that?
That's an acronym that stands for the organization without a cool acronym.
That's terrible. I want a fucking cool acronym.
You don't need an acronym.
That
Grub
could be
even spell
Freya's
acronym.
group. She said like 3 times she doesn't want an acronym, but I want an acronym.
I want it now. He's jumping up and down.
I want it now.
And Kenneth is still recording this too.
Hey, cut that shit off, sir. This is the stuff you have to pay extra for.
Yeah,
See,
you
this
could
this
only
is-
get these detailed diatribes on our Pixel Buddies OnlyFans.
Either that or the subscriber content for our library RP.
where you where you can learn about Cope's new project for Dammerhall for getting kids to appreciate their nation's culture, called the Hitler Youth.
Hitler stands for highly intelligent, tall, literate, entertaining residents. It's an acronym.
See, and notice how you went with the acronym first, and how much easier it was to just kind of fill it in.
Oh no!
God damn it, you're right. I just completely gave you an acronym for Hitler that fucking matched.
I got you, Gombo.
Yep.
The only thing it took is, comparing it to
Forcing it
Hitler.
on him. Forcing it on him.
You just had to push me out to sea.
And with that last Hitler joke, I think I'm out. I need to go get something to eat before I go to bed.
Okay.
Also, Kenneth is still recording the call.
My finger is hovering over the stop button.
He'll
It
stop when
keeps
sounds
going.
really
Do we
How
need
many
to
Hitler
have an
things will they say?
Oh Lord! At least no one will ever get this far into the video to hear it all.
funny. Right?
Don't tempt him, Richard.
If you have, please leave a comment. Let us know.
Let us know your favorite Hitler joke.
Remember, like and
Gosh,
subscribe,
darn it.
and in the comments, say what your favorite chapter of Mein Kampf is.
Tell us your favorite Hitler moment.
God.
My favorite was when he
Fuck,
killed himself.
guys.
My personal favorite is when he shot his family.
Did he shoot his family?
Yeah, he shot his family first.
Why are you laughing?
Yeah, that has to be my favorite too. Shortly followed by him shooting himself.
After he took cyanide,
First
by the
favorite,
way.
second favorite.
Didn't he do both? I always heard
Yeah,
he did
he
both.
took cyanide and then he shot himself to make sure the cyanide went down.
That's a nice pill chaser.
I mean,
I was
I
gonna say
guess
that's
there's-
quite the shot
There's
chaser.
the meme
I mean, I'm
of,
assuming this is. I think this is just what the Soviets told us. To be fair.
there's the
Oh.
meme of a picture of him
It-
sitting in a crowd, and it's like, "Don't stand up for evil. Be like this man, and be brave like this man." And a year later, he was killed by Hitler himself.
I've heard that joke before.
Double shot.
Also, you guys have a good night.
Have a
Have a
good
good
night.
Need cyanide with a 9mm chaser.
Honestly, not bad enough. Should have been worse, and he knew it. That's why he did it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep.
If the Russians got their mitts on him, he would have gotten a lot worse.
Mhm.